What's up? What's up? What's up? This is the officer sergeant of the goddamn law, the conqueror, Noah's Faulkner. Nope. A lot of people know that I'm a lifelong Superman fan. For 40 years, I'm a Superman fanboy. Jimmy Olsen ain't got a damn thing on me. Um, Before we begin, I don't want none of these nerd tards who only been reading comic books or not even comic books. You just seen the movies or the cartoons for about 3 to 5 years to tell me a damn thing about anything. I've put money, sweat, tears, and equity into reading this material about each and every one of these characters we're going to speak about. So, excuse me with your BS. And yes, we're going to have spoilers. So, if you didn't see the movie and you want to go see the movie spoiler free, this is your first and final, and I do mean final warning. With that, I'm giving my lifelong comic book fans thoughts on Superman 2025 by James Gunn. We start the movie off with them telling us that metahumans, which is basically superhumans that they can license under the properties of DC, have been around for 3 centuries. For those of you who are familiar with the comics, 3 centuries was during the time of antebellum slavery, 3 centuries ago. Especially if we mark it up to the modern day and go back 3 centuries, it was antebellum slavery. So basically, they might have given you a little hint, nod to Icon, because Icon came to Earth as a baby, and the first being of his people, the first person they see, they transform into that person's race, and his mother was a black slave woman, and he looked just like his mom. His adopted mom. So antebellum slavery during that time, 3 centuries ago, that would make him probably the first sighting of a metahuman. Hint, nod, nod. Now, after we're told 3 decades, the baby Kal-El ship crash landed, into Kansas. Then that baby grew up to be the most powerful metahuman on Earth, aka Superman. I got a problem with that. And I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. Like, share, subscribe. Anybody who wants to challenge my comic book knowledge, you are so welcomed and so doomed at the same time. You see that he, in the captions, lost his first battle for the first time. And he's been Superman for 3 years. I have a problem with that too. So you see Superman being either knocked or emergency flying, but more so being knocked, having the shit knocked out of him by this villain. In the snow, which is not far removed from the Fortress of Solitude. And of course, he's hurt, bloodied, battered. Remember, most powerful superhuman. or metahuman. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I'm just giving my analysis. Don't. This is what I hate when people do. Don't listen to other people's opinion. Go see it for yourself. You may have a different one. And you see Crypto being called, whistled, which I never cared for Crypto because it's kind of like, it's kind of campy. And this is some James Gunn shit, by the way, because he wanted to put the dog there because he adopted a dog that was similar, except that dog is brown, and the dog that Crypto presents is white, as he traditionally is. Even though traditionally Crypto is always like a hound. I forget what species of dog is he in this one. But of course, James Gunn being James Gunn, gotta have Crypto jumping around, beating up Superman even more. I guess that's supposed to be for laughs or entertainment. And instead of being a disciplined dog, he's wayward. He's unruly. So he drags him to the Fortress of Solitude. And his Superman robots tend to his wounds, which is one of my first problems. Why are you starting a superhero movie with the superhero not looking so super? You get what I'm saying? Here's my gist about it. What is the biggest nickname for Superman of all time? What do we call Superman? What's his number one nickname? Anybody in the chat? Anybody want to take a guess the number one nickname of Superman is? Thank you. The Man of Steel. And class, why do we call Superman the Man of Steel? Why do we call him the Man of Steel? Because, number one, he's supposed to be invulnerable to any conventional harm or weaponry. It's one of the hardest, densest elements. It's one of the light but strongest elements. Practically nigh invulnerable. And you're seeing a guy whose nickname is the Man of Steel, and he's bleeding all over the damn place. They tend to his wounds with sunlight. Well, it's an alloy. It's not a natural element. Steel is carbon and iron fused together. So he's screaming in pain because of the sunlight. And I guess because the bones are being reset and replaced. And he goes back out there to fight the villain again. He has a little bit of success, but he ends up not winning again, or the villain at least gets away. Time to find out. The villain is somebody that Lex Luthor engineered. I like the guy who played Luthor. Not bad. He looks like a comic book version of Luthor. So I give him that. He actually looks like the character. He has a very petty streak about him. And I get it. The female that's his second in command, she's given these nanobots. She has these nanobot powers where she could basically create anything or any weapon or any object she needs or wants. Think of what's that hero that was made in the same universe as Ben 10, the Rex, whatever. Generator Rex. Think of that. Now you have Ultraman, which is not the Ultraman in the comics. They're walking and walking and walking and talking. And it was Ultraman who was in the suit at the beginning of the movie who kicked Superman's ass. So you have the little bickering at the Daily Planet between Lois and Clark. Well, they had like a magnifying glass to magnify the rays to help his healing. They're bickering about his interview with Superman. So later, you head to Lois's apartment where she grabs a bat because she hears some sounds in the kitchen. Woody woo, it's Clark making breakfast for dinner, trying to be romantic. And this is the reason why I kind of hate the character of Lois. Lois Lane is the modern woman. You can never truly be romantic with her. If Clark Kent wasn't Superman, would she deal with him? The answer is no. The answer is no. She likes Clark for what he is and not who he is. And it kind of shows through the modern woman lens of what she's saying to Clark. When he says, okay, I'll let you interview me as Superman. And she's pumping him with questions like an investigative journalist would and should. Superman gets a little upset and flustered, which I didn't mind, but it's kind of almost off the cake a little because he prevented a war from happening and he was representing himself and not the nation. He did not get the permission of the president or the Secretary of Defense. Because he's an agent of neither. So she's pumping him full of questions to say, how do we know that your intentions were good? Or how would a person know? Blah, 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 blah. Continuously going at Superman's neck. And I get it. Because Superman's the type of character who would move before thinking. Not saying that's always a bad thing, but the protection and the preservation of life is always going to be first in his eyes. So they get into a little scuff. She's at the sink washing out a dish, and she's muttered the words, I didn't think this would work. That is the most modern female shit I ever heard. You get mad over a little tiff that you wanted to do. You're questioning them, which he allowed, and you're getting mad with the answers, or you're trying to buckle them down to something else. And you mutter because of one disagreement, one or two, I didn't think this would work. And Clark, says, you know what? Peace, I'm out. At least I'll give him that. He walked out the door with dignity. They didn't just try to beg and say, what did you mean by that? Like what you said. Okay. And just left. Now, we peek into what, and by the way, when after this moment, you'll have Lex Luthor, Ultraman, and we might as well call her Mercy, um, locating and finding the Fortress of Solitude. And they enter the Fortress of Solitude, Mercy because of her nanobites, and Ultraman because of his strength, are destroying the Superman robots. Crypto come in there, does a little thing, but gets stopped by the nanobites. And Lex Luthor intercepts a message that was given to him, that was given to Superman by his parents when he was a baby. And apparently the message was destroyed or partially ruined at the end. So they use this message and go on a talk show. And apparently the people of Earth must be really stupid in the DC universe or really gullible. Like, we'll listen to the first damn thing. Because now, because of this message, and I guess she was either able to decipher it or not, people were quick to believe Lex Luthor and saying that, and you could even see the buffering where the message was damaged. And they're believing that Jor-El and Laura sent their son to Earth to rule over it and to have a harem. And I'm just like, you motherfuckers turned against Superman like that over a message. You're believing that is, we had over 20 linguists or language experts to verify. So how many of these motherfuckers been studying Kryptonian and have the capabilities of restoring this message, which means what? You're telling me Lex Luthor has technology that's equal to a civilization that was even on the destruction of Krypton that's 1,000 to 2,000 years more advanced than you. And because of his nefarious dealings and past, why are these people so quick to believe Lex? Maybe it was the time before his nefarious self actually was public, I guess. But at no time did anybody say, okay, let's see if this is verified. Let's see if this is true. No investigation, no nothing. We'll just believe the first damn thing that comes out of a person's mouth. And by the way, this is right after Superman and the Justice Gang. No. That is definitely some James Gunn bullshit right there. the Justice Gang. Even though the building that they're in is called the Hall of Justice, and the best thing they could say is the Justice Gang. Get the absolute fuck out of here. So, this is right after Superman just saved a dog in the city with the help of Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, bowl cut and all, Hawk Girl, and last but not least, Mr. I Want That Jacket Terrific. And this kaiju was huge, and Superman wanted it to actually preserve it and have it studied or put it into Galactic Zoo. But Mr. Terrific was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna send a bomb to it and explode his heart. Not knowing that, hey, this motherfucker is gonna fall and possibly fall on people, so Superman caught it and brought it down to a park. Everybody's praising Superman, and all of a sudden, you just saw this motherfucker save your life, and that quick you're gonna turn on him. How quick does public perception change? I don't know. Well, that's the Justice League International. And if you read the comics through Infinite Crisis, whew, he starts a lot of shit. Tell Maxwell Lord Wonder Woman says hi. So, with no real substantial evidence, but only the bullshit Lex Luthor pulls out of his ass and the whole heady Fortress of Solitude, they put a warrant out. The DOD puts a warrant out for him, which the DOD cannot put out warrants because the DOD is not a law enforcement agency. The DOJ can put out a warrant for him. And it's funny, right? Because here's my real issue, and I'm not being overly overly judgmental, but this is year 3 Superman, meaning he knows what the fuck he's doing. He's pretty much a master of what he's doing. That's like if you see me as a cop year 3, I'm teaching younger rookie cops how to do it. I have almost a mastery of this, if not already. So we go back into this. He talks to Lois, gets a little sappy. In the background, you can see them fighting interdimensional imp. Shout out to Mr. Mistleplik or whatever the fuck the imp is he's referring to. And you see Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl fighting this thing. And what's uncharacteristic of Superman is that his love life takes a backseat to saving people. Remember that. As much as he would be hurt or shocked by Lois's remark or actions, his feelings go in his back pocket and he goes to save the day. Which I thought was totally uncharacteristic of Superman. Totally. He would be hurt. He would talk to Lois afterwards, but he would make sure that preservation of life that they try to display, even though he saved a squirrel and a dog. And this is where I talk about the James Gunn bullshit. You want to prove that your Superman's different than Zack Snyder's, but in the same movie, you kind of destroy that. He's not going to allow the Justice League or the Justice Gang in this movie to fight an interdimensional imp by themselves. For you to have my lonely and my heartfelt time with Lois and tell how much I'm gonna. Are you with me, or what did you mean by that? You'd have made sure the job was done. Because remember, no matter how super he is, he's still a man and he has a job to do. That's very uncharacteristic of him. So if anybody says he has more of a touch to Superman than Zack Snyder, I beg to differ. So, after speaking with Lois, turns himself into the DOJ and the DOD. They literally trust this guy and hands him over to what? I forgot what they called that goddamn team that Luthor made. Because you build weapons for the DOD and other places, and because you didn't like this alien, as you refer to him, why would the government trust you? Oh, I get it. It must be a Elon Musk reference that they put in. I guess his superpower minions are more Doge than anything else. So they put him in his capsule with Metamorpho. Classic character who can change. Previously, he could change into any substance that's natural in the world, or at least in the human body originally. Now, apparently, out of nowhere, he could do kryptonite. I don't know if he knows the composition of a fucking rock that is thousands of light years away. How would you be able to know what kryptonite is? But, we're talking about a comic book movie, so we're going to suspend belief. So he's weakened severely by the kryptonite. And he's pretty much being forced to do it because somehow, some way, Lex Luthor has, in this pocket dimension, remember this pocket universe he created between, the Big Bang and some other universe. He literally has Metamorpho's baby. And as powerful as, if you're powerful enough to make kryptonite, you weren't powerful enough to get your fucking baby. Suspending. So Superman tells him, like, look, I can help you get your child. So he cuts off the kryptonite after Luthor interrogates Superman, and he sees Luthor kill an innocent man. And you see Metamorpho crying. And you didn't expect this motherfucker to be. If he would kidnap your baby, do you think he's above killing an innocent person? Hey, James Gunn, stick to your material. What works for Guardians of the Galaxy does not work for Superman. I'm sorry. Because you're going to see a lot. Because, one, those characters are nowhere near as known as Superman. Superman's iconic. He's part of Americana. He's part of world history now. And there's certain characteristics Superman is going to have. But getting back to the story, he cuts off this kryptonite. He takes it in, reverses it. Somehow he creates a little star to energy power up Superman. And apparently, with this whatever wing force or whatever Overwatch, whatever the fuck they call themselves, they hear the glass breaking. Superman rescues the baby. And these armored power beings from Lex Luthor's private little army. I guess he has Blackwater on steroids. He fights them off, even though he still has the baby, holding the baby while he's in his river of primordial soup that would kill the baby instantly, by the way. And he also fights them off and also rescues Krypto. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the part where Superman goes into Lex Corp's headquarters and looks like a fucking maniac. And I guess so if you kidnap a man's dog. And he flips over tables, get in his face, and the whole time Miss Taskmaster, shout out to references from Superman 1, Gene Hackman and Christopher Reeve. She's putting it on live and all this other shit, which is furthering damaging his image. Now we'll get back to that pocket dimension stuff. Once again, I have an issue with this. You just got supercharged by a mini star in your face. You should be just as powerful, or nearly as powerful, or more powerful than ever. That close to a star, that mini star that Metamorpho, created. But it seems like every fight scene he's in, he's struggling. So Mr. Terrific and Lois enters one of the little realms. Mr. Terrific gets his time to shine, where he literally fucks up the base. And shout out to the actor. He had a glow up from X-Men Origins, didn't he? Or X-Men First Class, whatever that he had a hell of a glow up, because how do you kill a person whose main mutant ability is to survive anything? Fuck out of here. Always the black character, right? I'll give James Gunn this. At least he didn't kill the black character. So at least he gave the black character time to shine. Shout out to Mr. Terrific. You need to go buy JSA Bat Comics, where he was the chairman of it, and go look on how brilliant this man is. By the way, Mr. Terrific is the smartest man in the DC universe. He's smarter than Bruce. He's smarter than Lex. They get into one of the openings, and he uses T-Spears to locate Superman. Metamorpho, the baby, and Krypto. By the way, I think Krypto has a little bit too much. Krypto is almost stealing the goddamn movie. You might as well make it a Krypto movie. Goddamn. It's a damn shame Krypto has more wins than Superman. Damn boy. So they get rescued. They're pulled out just in time before the opening of that wormhole, or that gateway, collapses. Mr. Terrific stays by and try to keep it closed forever, because that pocket dimension was creating a black hole. And we'll get to that part later. Superman, you could physically see his veins turning green, still suffering from the effects of kryptonite poisoning. And Mr. Terrific volunteers his spaceship to Lois, Where, thank God for her, it's instinctive to fly, I guess. Whatever to push the story. And she takes Superman and Crypto to Smallville, Kansas, where Ma and Pa Kent, Jonathan and Martha, reside. I understand that, these are some farmer folk, but not all farmer folk got to be all hicked out. Like you made them hillbillies, basically. Ma and Pa Kent might have been country folk, but they weren't idiots. You must be some bad motherfuckers to keep a godlike child under wraps, disciplined and under control. But you made them all hicked out and almost pretty much, I agree with our stereotypes. Mom and Pa Kent, you could tell they love their kid from the stars. But you also start to wonder, like, did they dumb these people down? Because when I read in the comics, there was a lot of wisdom and knowledge he gained from the Kents as a boy and as a man. He literally admired his father so much he named his son after him. If you read Superman comics like I have, Jonathan Kent was a hero to Clark. There was one comic where a tractor was about to run over a guy and a kid, and it was a runaway tractor. And he literally jumps on the tractor, nearly getting himself sliced up, and turned the key off just in the nick of time. And even as a boy, he looked at his father and said, "Wow, wow." Even when you look at Man of Steel, there was some type of admiration towards Jonathan Kent. Well, Superman has ingenuity, but he's smarter when it comes to using his abilities and maybe some of the technology in the fortress. So I didn't have a problem with Mr. Terrific being terrific. Okay. He's supposed to do that. Now you have him healing and speaking to his father. And it's almost like they live on two sides of the world. And when we have that heartfelt hug from father and son, my kid calls him in because a war is about to start. I forget the name of the damn countries. And the little kids are putting up a sign for Superman to come back and rescue them and have peace over the land. He also gets another call from Mr. Terrific that he needs him because this damn thing, this little dimensional pocket dimension, is starting to enclose on itself and created a black hole. So now Superman has to pull himself from two different areas. Flash forward a little bit. Superman comes and he tries his best to stop whatever he can. So he gets confronted by Mercy and Ultraman. I do enjoy one scene where he actually took a motherfucker to beat another motherfucker with him. So I give him that scene. I like that one a lot. And he took Mercy and was like, and slapped Ultraman with her. Like, bitch, bitch. So, that being said, the fight's on. And Mr. Terrific joins him, but he's knocked off the fray for a few minutes. This is my knock on the movie, even though I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not supposed to talk about the whole movie. I didn't feel him feeling too super. I had a colleague at Apple who says this is a better film than Man of Steel. And I said, and I'm still thinking to the back of my mind about Man of Steel, and I'm like, none of the fights was as lit as the fucking Smallville fight in Man of Steel. None of them. Nothing was as impactful as when Superman speared Zod when he was about to kill his mother. But we're going to get back to the story. He fights Mercy, who we're going to call her. I forget what her name is. She's suffocating him with nanobites through his lungs and through his nose and all over his body while Ultraman's hitting him. And he's flying into space, in the stratosphere. And I guess either he's blacking out or he purposely dive bomb into the earth where Luther's telling him you're gonna have to disengage because he's protected, you're not. Knocks out Mercy and damages Ultraman. And then we get this great big reveal about Ultraman. Dun, 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 dun. You ready? He's a clone of Superman. Bah, bah, bah. But is it just me, or when he had the long hair, he looked just like Henry Cavill? But you let go of Henry Cavill? Now, the fight's on, and you find out that he was an imperfect clone. Not as smart in the brain matter, but powerful. And I'm just looking at it like they're calling out chess moves to combat Superman. And I'm like, Superman's a brawler, but he's an instinctual, not only instinctual, but he's also a talented fighter. So you couldn't see a better fight between these two. And he whistles. If you got enough time to whistle, you got enough time to punch that motherfucker in his face or kick him in his nuts. I'm sorry. Fighting 101, bite that motherfucker if necessary. So he whistles and calls Crypto, and Crypto damages all the little space age cameras and computers. That's giving Luther an advantage of actually seeing the fight. And now he's taking the fight to Ultraman. And apparently Ultraman must have been going to MMA class because he put Superman in a Fujiwara cross armbar, dislocating his shit. Because Superman gets the strength and the wherewithal to throw him into one of those damaging bricks or blocks, and Ultraman gets trapped into the black hole. If you notice one thing about the Superman movie, Superman never wins one battle by himself. He needs help. Remember, this is third year Superman who should have mastery of all his powers to such an extent that he's literally called the most powerful metahuman on Earth, and he didn't look powerful or the most powerful metahuman at all. So while the war breaks out, you have the Justice Gang with Metamorpho, you know, being called over to take care of the war, giving Superman a solid. I did enjoy Guy Gardner's, you know, being Guy Gardner because he's very comic book accurate when he used his hand and the constructs to smack away the tanks and also give them middle fingers as well, which I thought was clever. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that they got Hawk Girl being like a hawk and screaming and hitting people with the mace. And if you think she wasn't dying. Not true, Charles. He was fighting himself, and once the movie started, it was said that it's his first love. I mean, we don't know. We didn't see it. I'm going by what we see. In this entire movie, he needed help. He didn't win in the first fight. The villain got away. He needed help with the kaiju. He needed help inside the pocket dimension. He needed help against Ultraman and Mercy. He wasn't looking too super. I'd rather lie for you than lie to you. And yes, the Ultraman looks like the containment suit of Doomsday. It did. Even though Ultraman is a parallel universe Superman who basically gets his powers from kryptonite. Now, here comes the part where Superman confronts Luthor when he's trying to run away. Boom, here comes the philosophical battle. I guess here comes the James Gunn where Krypto comes and fucks him up a little bit. That's even worse. That means he can't fight. Krypto comes and throws him around the room, fucks him up a little bit, but not kill him. Dislocates his shoulder and his arm. The world finds out that, oh yeah, let me go back to the war. Hawk Girl catches up to the president or dictator of the country that's invading the other country. So she catches him and he's laughing like, you're just like Superman, you don't kill. And she literally drops this motherfucker and kills him. And she says, I'm not like Superman. And I'm like, wait a minute. Motherfuckers had an issue with Superman snapping Zod's neck in Man of Steel, but y'all don't blink an eye about this. Get the fuck out of here. And remember, when he faced all those soldiers, who was with him? Krypto. I made sure to pay attention to that shit. When he fought the Krypto, well, you see him spinning around with the heat vision. Krypto was with him because Krypto was dragging some of the dogs with him. He's never, in this movie, he hasn't fought alone. He hasn't fought alone. He hasn't won a solo fight. And then on top of that, he's killed none of them. So when he defeated the soldiers, he goes to does the Luthor thing. They find out because, oh yeah, by the way, Jimmy Olsen has Miss Tessmacher as, I guess, his ex or stalker, even though Jimmy Olsen looks like a bag of cream of wheat and oats. And I guess Jimmy must be packing. That's why they obsess. So she takes selfies, even though this really makes Lex Luthor look stupid. Why do you have all your fiendish plans and all your fucking shit, and you allow a fucking content creator to make pictures and selfies with herself right next to your maps of you wanting to conquer half of a fucking country so you could be king? That's not too smart, Lex. So we get back. Mr. Terrific does this terrific shit. Or Mr. Okay. Or Mr. I need you to get a fucking fade or something, god damn it. Because we go back, they save the day. Superman meets up with Lois to give his interview, basically kissing. Perry Black White, the second Black Perry. Hey, ask Jimmy, how long have they been messing around? Probably about 3 years. So it's noticeable. And you see him in the fortress again, and guess who makes a cameo appearance? His drunk ass cousin Supergirl. And guess what you find out? Krypto is Supergirl's dog. When has Krypto ever been her dog? She's just a drunk teenage girl going around planets partying on a red sun so she could get drunk. Allowing Krypto to throw around and she's partying and she's happy. And she's like, thanks for watching them, bitch. And this is your little cousin. She's a drunk party girl who's probably getting tossed around by every species. Ain't nothing tighter than Kryptonian pussy. That shit's like steel. Steel tight, waterproof. That made no sense. And I have to say it made no sense. So basically, the reason why Krypto is so undisciplined and so unruly is because she's unruly because it's her dog. Yeah, Black Uber. She's a thought. And I gotta say this, right? I wasn't gonna do this at first, but I'm gonna put this. Anybody want to comment on it? And please like, share, subscribe, and put a cash app in for your boy because I'm a lifelong Superman. I've been reading comics for 40 years. Okay. So you're getting somebody who knows the fucking material. I'm not getting it off the back of my ass. I've been reading comics before 86, which is Crisis on Infinite Earths, on 85, 86. I've even went through New Earth. I went through New 52, Rebirth, and we're going through whatever shit we're going through now. She's not for the galaxy shit. She's for the universe. Oh my God. She getting smutted out by Klingons, Romulans, Thanagarians, New Geneseans, Apocalyptians. Oh, the Green Lantern Corps call her the Green Lantern Corps. But James Gunn, being the ultra liberal, gotta have that strong female freedom element in there. Because I'm going to tell you, that kind of disturbed me because your cousin's the number one hero and you have no respect for him. Even watching your dog. Thanks for watching a bit. Hello?
Hey, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, they turned them into Viltrumites. And then I don't get it. Like, here's my shit. How do we know that that was even valid? Like, Kryptonian or Kryptonese, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, how many of these people were studying this language? Even Superman's not necessarily an expert in the language. The video was damaged. So how do you know if you're getting the correct shit? So the nanobots filled out. And then on top of that, how do you don't know if Luther and this chick filled out the blank spaces to say what they wanted to say? It made no sense. But go ahead, Gavin. How you been?
Man, when I saw that movie, I was like, this was the most woke, toxic, feminist piece of crap ever. None of it made sense. From top to bottom, I mean, first off, you have the Justice League, called the Justice Gang, but everybody knows that the Justice League was formed and created by Superman and Batman.
Well, the original Justice League, the original members were um, Aquaman, Flash, Barry Allen, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, and I think it might have been who? Batman or no, Green Arrow. Green Arrow. Batman and Superman were not originally founding members.
Oh no? Okay, I had it wrong. Thank you for the correction.
That lets
I
you know how long I've been reading comics. What's up, Uber? As a matter of fact, the first villain the Justice League ever fought against was Starro, the same creature you saw in another James Gunn movie, Suicide Squad. What did you think about it, Black Uber? The shirt of the Copper Kid. Oh, you there, Uber? We can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Yes. So hopefully everything's okay on your part.
How did they have Superman being interviewed by Lois Lane and he's defending himself almost to the point of being whiny?
Well, they were in the apartment. So she was basically whining how unethical it is, which technically it kind of is, to interview yourself. You already know the questions. But at the same time, if you're going to see a massive loss of life and you have this great power to stop a war, what are you going to do?
It just made Superman look so
He
like
looked
he's not sure of himself.
he looked like the man of plastic and not the man of steel to me.
You think?
He didn't look even in Man of Steel, which was day one, year one. He looked way more confident.
Oh, wait. Not only that, when I saw who they picked to be Jor-El, are you kidding me?
I mean, it was what was crazy about it was this. You it's kind of hard to start off a superhero film where the superhero you said has been in 3 years Been in this issue for 3 years, and he's just getting his ass ravaged in the first scene. It doesn't make sense. Hey, what's up, Lou? You're back.
Big time.
I mean,
And crypto can't
Hold
fly.
on, hold on. Try your bike again.
him,
Huh?
you don't.
Hey, Uru, can you say something so we can hear you?
I mean,
You going in and out for some reason. In and out.
But
maybe I'll change device.
Oh, you good now?
Am I good now?
Yeah.
perfect. Pitch
Yeah.
perfect.
Thanks for having me, Charles. I have some mixed thoughts about the film. I probably have all of your criticisms that you guys have. I would have really enjoyed the movie if it were but for one basic reason.
What's that?
If it were not about Superman.
Exactly. Exactly. If it was not about when
If it
I,
were
I
not
had a
about
cold.
Superman, I would have really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it's like one of the guys who work at Apple, he's a nerd too. And he said he gives the movie a 7.5. As the Superman movie, he gives it a 10. I did not leave the movie theater feeling hopeful.
But
I
10.
didn't. I Superman is supposed to be this guy who overcomes. Every fight he had in this movie, he needed help.
Thank you.
That's the first two fights of the movie, you lost badly. You basically was you might as well call it the Crypto movie because Crypto was like goddamn almost undefeated, except for when he was kidnapped. How does your dog get more wins than you? Which comes to find out is not technically your dog.
Well,
Because not
to me though, the the worst part about it, they did this thing, and I think it's this thing that I don't know, they did the same thing to Odin. They
yeah,
turned Jor-El into a villain.
yeah.
They turned Jor-El into. I'll never forgive him for that. I'll
Jarrell
never
was
forgive him.
Jarrell was one of the guys
They
who
turned him
said,
into
"Look,
a villain. They turned
and
Jor-El into a villain.
have you noticed that they turned all the fathers in modern
All
media
the
the last few
fathers.
years
Yes,
into
yes.
desperate into despots?
Yeah, I mean,
You're either
they
a
turned all the
warmonger,
fathers into villains.
you're either a warmonger, a womanizer, but nobody says he loved his son so much. He says, "I'm not even going to get on this ship with you because I'm going to pollute you with Krypton's past." And I'm like, the reason why everybody fucks with Jarrell is because Jarrell was a man about his shit. He like, honey, fuck these motherfuckers. Our son's going to survive.
Yeah, and Jor-El knew and accepted it was over for him and for what they were, and was willing to separate his son from all of that.
Yeah, he gave his
It
son a
just
fighting
that's
chance.
what's classical father mentality and morality.
Yeah, you took away, and you basically made his father and his mother look like, yeah, go fuck some bitches, son.
And
Yeah,
and, and
repopulate.
so and here's the thing, and because I went to go see it with my daughter, um,
Uh-oh.
and think about that. Think about that. Okay, now if Superman fulfilled his father's, Jor-El wish. oh, we're just all fucked because Superman has impregnated every bitch on the planet.
Yeah, he's the ultimate Chad, the ultimate Tyrone.
Like, we ain't got no more women. It's over.
You know, super speed. Like they ain't gonna find out why they call him the Man of Steel. The Man of Steel, like yo, you know, he gonna ride around. He gonna be flying around like I'm about to take your bitch. Like God
So
damn.
then I saw film. I couldn't get that out of my mind. You know, the whole superhero harem thing. I couldn't really get that. Even now, I can't really get that out of my mind. That Superman would take all our bitches.
Yeah. And what made me and my son came with me. This is the second Superman movie that my son, because 2013, I took him out of school early, and we went to go see Man of Steel. He was about 5 or 6 then. Let me see, he's going to be 18 this year, well, the 28th of this month. So he was roughly around, what, 5, 6? So he's going to have he liked the movie. He gave the movie an 8.5. I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it because you're older. I said, go back and watch Man of Steel and tell me what you think. I told him that. Go back. Did you, when you look at the ending fight, were you excited?
You know, none of the fight scenes really resonated with me at all.
Yeah.
Like you said, the first fight scene we see him get, well, he gets basically dog walked twice
Yeah.
at the beginning of the movie. Even after he recovers after the first ass whooping, he gets his ass whooped again.
And what makes it
So
even more effective. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You go finish. Go ahead. Finish, Uber.
no, my bad. Just go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. You wrote a thought.
I mean, he gets his ass whooped twice, like badly, at the very beginning of the film. Yeah, I mean that's like the this is a departure. That's what I hate. The only thing I hate about the Infinity War, we see Thor and the Hulk get drug at the beginning of the film.
I mean,
I never recovered from that shit.
like it was like, and then you know what I can tell you with the Russo brothers, what I will never forgive them for. You had the perfect setup for Hulk versus Thanos 2. And these motherfuckers don't even need the
Yes.
battlefield. You could have had
And
Ultimate
they
Savage Hulk.
and they do this girl power bullshit with Captain Marvel and Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch.
And I'm like, here's the perfect scene that they failed on, right? And this is just me knowing how to write and knowing how to draw. Remember when Hulk was holding up the Avengers building?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how frustrated and how much of a failure he felt that he couldn't bring Natasha back?
Yes.
Remember he's looking around and almost all his friends are being killed? Wouldn't that actually power the Hulk back into being a savage again?
Yes.
Yeah, it would have turned him back into.
Wouldn't that actually make him upset that he feels like he's a failure?
Yes.
Enrage him completely.
He would actually get
Yeah.
stronger. He would be something to fear at that moment.
People forget how big of a motivate.
Stronger.
People forget how powerful rage is.
Mm-hmm.
You made Thor into a fat recluse, and he's literally the Norse god of thunder and strength.
Yes. Quite frankly, Charles, when it comes to Endgame, they probably could have made a $500 million more if they had completely taken out Captain Marvel and put in Savage Hulk.
Savage Hulk would have been vicious. You could have actually gave us World Breaker Hulk at that moment. And the crowd would have lost their shit.
Let's not forget who was running Marvel, DC, and everything. And sorry, let's not forget who's running Disney. That's why you have someone like Brie Larson in the position she was in with Captain Marvel.
That's why Star Wars
Politics.
That's why Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of Brie Larson, I still go back to that interview she did with what's his name that played Hawkeye, and you just see him. You know, she's
Jeremy Renner.
Bullshit, yeah, Jeremy, and you just see him face plant. He's like this.
Oh, you could have seen the one with what's the dude name?
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
You should see the
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Oh, one note I got to mention about Jeremy Renner. I wonder if anybody's ever watched the movie "Killing the Messenger." I mentioned that on BGS's stream earlier. That was the life. That's about the life and times of the journalist Gary Webb.
Nope,
Killing the Messenger. You guys got to check. If you ever seen it, check it. If you haven't, check it out. Michael K. Williams plays Freeway Ricky Ross in it.
Nice. I'm gonna tell you something about this movie that kind of pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
If your nickname is the Man of Steel, why am I seeing you hurt like every other goddamn fight?
Unless you're made of brittle steel.
I mean, is it just me? Or it's like, dude, you're looking very vulnerable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody wearing kryptonite lined gloves or something? What the hell's going on?
I'm like, this has to be the least powerful Superman I've ever seen on film.
Doesn't make any sense.
This is the least. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give somebody else the floor. The next motherfucker who complains about the Zack Snyder Superman, I'm gonna look at you like you snorting dope with some fentanyl. You snorting some good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you notice how manly his Superman was, Henry Cavill's how manly his Superman was.
And true to the comic books. And accurately true to the comic books. Let's not forget about that.
And don't get me wrong. I like the fact that they put the Superman in the Fortress of Solitude. I like that shit. But it was like, it was too much James Gunn being James Gunn. The robot saying, "Oh, he smiled at me." Bitch, do your damn job and heal him. Like, he gets healed up by the sun and he's in pain. Superman's like in Batman versus Superman, he's fighting Doomsday and he gets hit by a nuke and heals up from the sun. Like it's nothing. Okay, let's fight again. The motherfucker actually went into the water and grabbed the kryptonite fucking spear.
Mm-hmm. And then drove it into Doomsday.
And I'm like, you were getting your ass bounced around the room by Ultraman, who was a clone of you, who was not as smart. And for some reason, this motherfucker's pulling out the fucking blood code and fucking chess moves on you. And you needed crypto.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
A simple question. There's a big plot hole. Why couldn't Superman see through Ultraman's mask? Shouldn't he have known way that who was his clone? No, because it was lead lined. Yep, Superman needed a dog to save his life. Yep.
Man's best friend, allegedly.
Yeah,
I'm like,
still
God.
is.
I'm like, God damn, man. Then you had Supergirl, who I'm gonna dub Super Thought.
There's a harem right there. How many dudes must have ran through her the night before?
You probably got I wonder how long does it take the gestation of Kryptonian babies, unless they got Plan B on Krypton.
I mean,
I ain't gonna front though. I think I get in that line to fuck Supergirl, even though I probably get end up getting killed.
Yeah, I would have, but but God dang, even after I fucked, I'm thinking she for the streets.
I think I'm gonna try to get a little of that Kryptonian.
That's the only way. Making that what's your name? Making that shit up. That's the only way he didn't know that fucking person wasn't fucking Ultraman. It had to be lead line, because if he would have seen it, it wouldn't have been a shocker. It had to be lead line. Matter of fact, why didn't we know that it was Ultraman inside the suit in the first part of the movie? Bing bing.
But
You
as
can
I was
see
watching
good.
the movie, Charles, the thing that I was thinking more than anything was like, so we forfeited the Dark Side saga for this?
I'm laughing at motherfuckers because of that.
I'm like, this might have surpassed the Infinity War. I mean, it was like sizing up for that. And we
This was some
forfeited it
bullshit.
for this? For this gun shit? Whose decision was that?
Desperate ass DC trying to get some Marvel shit in it. And then on top of that, when you saw the Snyder Cut compared to the theatrical release, you like, this motherfucker's a fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
We could have got Jared Leto, Joker, and Ben Affleck's Batman. The dialogue they had in the epilogue showed you they would have been perfect together on screen. You motherfuckers, like, I'm gonna tell you, this is how you know. Shout out to BGS for saying this. Man of Steel is Superman for adults. That's all I'm gonna say. All men know what the fuck we like. We're not into this. Oh, my hero's got to be hurt. Yeah, he can be hurt sometime. Not the whole goddamn movie.
You're not fighting like. I mean, everybody likes an underdog story, but Superman is not an underdog like that. That's what the problem. You're trying to make everybody like a lovable underdog. All right? That's not how it works. Not for a character like this.
No, Superman is supposed to be the quintessential man. Okay, he's the quintessential man. What's the old saying from the cartoons in the show? This looks like a what?
A job for Superman.
Every dad had to say that in their kid's life at one point, or a husband to their wife, or depending on your job, even if you're a paper pusher or a computer analyst. This looks like a job for a nigga better than you.
Or in the case of Richard Pryor.
With him, he was
Go ahead.
he was only, well, and in my view, the only actor to really be both Superman and Clark Kent was Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves was the only one who were clearly both of those personalities. This guy was basically Clark Kent, like
the whole time.
dressing up as Superman. and
You
not
felt,
doing a particularly good job at it.
and you felt like there was no intimidation. Like,
None of it.
I get it. He saved a dog and a squirrel.
Oy vey.
He saved a dog and a squirrel. He wanted to preserve the kaiju. This is the funniest part. I will say the one thing about Henry Cavill's performance that his Clark was always Superman,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
kind of preferred it a
Yeah, he
little
was
bit.
never really Clark Kent.
Yeah,
he was,
like
he was just
you worried
Superman.
about Clark
Yeah.
bumbling? No, Clark about to steal your bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just Clark. He was just Superman.
If he wasn't playing computer, if he wasn't playing PC,
Think
but
about it,
then
right?
again,
I'm gonna tell you how bullshit Marvel fans are. Even though I love both companies, but I'm gonna tell you how bullshit. This is the reason why comic book fans have to separate themselves from just the movie and the cartoon fans because they don't know shit. They never put the time equity into shit. Okay.
Mm.
Do you know how much destruction Avengers 1, Avengers 2? Hell, let's go back to fucking Marvel's greatest movie to this day. Let's go back to fucking Winter Soldier. You let all that information go out. That was a national crisis.
Mhm.
Hold on, fellas.
What's Nico saying? Oh, he's saying, oh, let me read it out loud. Marvel foot fans never bitched out online over destruction of New York and Slovakian Adventures Part 1 and 2. DC comic book nerds are the worst. I'm tempted
Because
to I'm tempted to respond using Roman voice.
I'm gonna answer that. There were never really any true. There were never any true consequences the fucking Avengers never faced. Even with the Sokovia Accords, you never really felt that. Who signed them? What it's supposed to technically the bitch is supposed to be in effect today. You 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 literally have you this is the problem. You literally have comic books where there's no fucking direct action after that. Say what you want about Batman versus Superman. There was a direct action and shit felt after the fucking Man of Steel movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
You felt, think about this. Ben Affleck might have one of the greatest portrayals of Batman ever. Besides, what's the one who did the animated series?
What's his name? Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. Shout out to him for doing that for my birthday.
R.I.P.
You know, let me tell you why. He was a 20-year-old Batman who dealt with crime for 20 plus years. Imagine being a medic, a paramedic, or an EMT for 20 years in a city, a cop in a major city for 20 plus years. They say in 5 years in Baltimore City, it's like 20 years in the county. So you can imagine 20 years in a city. You're grizzled. You're grizzled. And you notice how brutal he was. Shout out to the Dark Knight Returns brutality. He said, when you killed his Robin, fuck that, all bets are off. And what did Ben Affleck's Batman say to him? He says, I'm gonna promise Harley Quinn that I'm gonna kill you. And let me put it this way, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Think about this. When people say, well, Superman doesn't kill, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, fellas. How do you become a farm boy and not kill?
You don't. Unless you just raise crops and never raise animals. But then again, like what did he say? I may I may not kill, but I know from time to time I'm going to put a mad dog down.
Shout out to Trinity, the book Trinity. He says, "Look, even though they call me the Boy Scout, even I know when to put a mad dog down. There's no fucking way you live on a farm or visit your grandparents' farm and you don't have to kill something."
Does anybody remember the book Sounder?
Nope.
There was a book I remember reading, but also saw a film about it. It starred Cicely Tyson. Yeah, there's a movie about this book called Sounder. It's about about the relationship between a boy and his dog during the Jim Crow South. Charles Winfield and Cicely Tyson were in it. And there was at one point they had to put the dog down, just like they had to put down Old Yeller. When a dog goes rabid, you got to put him down. This was long before Louis Pasteur found the cure for rabies.
Even then, you got to understand something. Hey, Uber.
Yep.
When you go back to Man of Steel, and when Superman snapped fucking Zod's neck, did the whole fucking theater go woo?
Yeah, it was a surprising moment. It was definitely a surprising moment.
I had none in this movie. I literally had none, and I'm a big Superman fan.
Of course, somebody would say, it wasn't meant for somebody like you, Charles. It was meant for a different demographic. What demographic was this for? And thank you for just saving me the time to watch it.
You got to think about it, right? Superman has been out since 1938, June of 1938.
1938, which means it's now 85 years old now.
Sometimes
85 plus.
So they just had their 80th anniversary a few years ago. They just had their
1983, no, 1939, he said?
Yeah, 38.
1938, so now it is
87.
87, yeah, 87.
So
because a couple years ago they had the 85th anniversary.
Action Comics just had its about a couple of years ago, about 7 years ago, just their 1,000 issues of Action Comics. One of the longest running American comics for a major company ever.
Oh wow!
So you're telling me, right? This Superman was like the Millennial Man Superman. It's okay to get your ass kicked as long as you get your point across. You try to fucking talk about, explain yourself to a petty, jealous Luthor about being, you fail, you make mistakes. This guy's trying to kill you.
Well, and even the motives of Luthor were this whole thing and all this stuff, and he's just doing it so he can take over half of a rinky-dink country, or even the whole setup of that was odd.
Even for Luthor.
Yeah.
It was unbecoming.
Man, he wanted Australia, a continent.
See, right there. Everybody's thinking small. Everybody's thinking small and narrow-minded. But then again, but in the movie, did he ever say, today this, tomorrow the world? Did he ever use that line? No, he didn't. So that shows you how narrow-minded the writers behind this were.
And all the political references that was blatantly in your face.
Pretty much. I mean, you got to look at it, right? You got to look at it. At no time did Lois need saving. Did you notice that?
Compared to Margot Kidder.
Hey, compared to the chick who played Lois Lane. It's kind of
Yeah.
a funny. Here's a fun fact. Did you know she was 10 years older than Henry Cavill?
Well, Margot
So
Kidder
basically,
Margot Kidder was older than Christopher Reeve.
For free. Yeah.
oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah.
And
What's it baby always says about women who don't need helping? I'm independent.
Hmm.
That's what
I was,
probably what they were trying to push.
I'm just thinking about it. As a matter of fact, Lois actually saves a couple of people for the Daily Planet with the ship.
Yeah.
She never
Yeah.
needed
It
saving.
was very strong woman. Right.
If
It
they
was
needed a strong woman, why did they have Wonder Woman in it? What the?
Ooh.
She never
Yeah, I said
needed
it.
saving. She never needed saving. Even though I did enjoy when he walked out on her ass. He said, and she was like, "What?
Mm.
Think about it. I never thought this would work."
That
You
begs
may.
the question.
Now wait a minute, Commander. I don't think he walked out on her. I think again it was another portion of Gunn showing Superman his ready to be so weak. He was like emotionally beaten, and he just like, okay, I give up.
You
That's
know
how it
what?
looks to me.
James Gunn reminds me of an Apple employee.
This movie had so many question marks for me, but the main one was this. Remember the part where Mom Kent goes to Clark? There's something on the box. You
They
go
made him
inside,
hit.
and the box is a flat screen TV.
Yeah.
It's like how corny redneck you gonna make the Kent family.
I mean, traditionally, Pa and Ma Kent were a source of love, comfort, and knowledge and wisdom.
Not this crew.
This was like they were stuck in a time capsule or something. Like the way they made Ma and Pa Kent. Hey, you got to go see Dr. Jenkins, that nice color fella.
What is this? The 1930s?
That's how it felt when they were speaking. We love that nice color fella.
This is kid.
How you gonna?
We're in.
And this
All
is the
right, we
part.
forgot this is
Hold on, hold on, hold
Kansas.
on, hold on. And then here's another thing, right? How is Lois gonna question her boyfriend, who's Superman, about the level of shit he's got to deal with? Yeah, he should look into how much he might cause things, but here's the question: like, bitch, what would you do with this power? Would you help people? That's what I would ask. Like, stopping a war, but did you consult the president? When you were falling from a building, did I consult the president?
Don't worry, miss. I've got you. You got me. Who's got you?
He didn't even admire him. They want to make Lois the equal to Superman so badly.
And James Gunn wrote this crap. He wrote, directed, and produced this sucker.
Every time I might even go see this movie again just to make sure. But I'm going to warn you, motherfuckers. You say something bad about the Snyderverse again, I'm going to slap piss and vinegar out of your ass. Because you cannot tell me this bullshit that we just got, which is nothing. I mean, how can I say this, right? Sometimes I talk about my wrestling career, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to see highlights or the beginning, yes, I know I lost my first match, but I won a championship my first year. What do you think is people going to remember if I put the first loss, the first two losses out there front? And then what are people going to think when you go through other battles, you needed help to win them? Are people going to look at me as a super guy? Oh,
No, they're gonna look at you as a chump. You know what? I
and
just realized something. But finish your thought first, Charles.
it was real chumpish. The whole time, the whole time I looked at the movie, he
Mm.
kind of looked like a chump.
They emasculated him. But look at it this way. I remember. You know what? I gotta take you back. I gotta take y'all back. Ooh, about 12, 13 years ago, around this time. It was around this time, 2011. Gavin, I'm not sure. Do you remember Patrice O'Neill?
A little bit, yeah, somewhat.
All right. April of 20, it was around the end of spring, the beginning of June, the beginning of summer 2011. Patrice O'Neill, he makes an appearance on Opie and Anthony, and they discuss the whole issue about Tracy Morgan, who was in some hot water because he made supposedly a anti-LGBT joke on a comedy stage in Tennessee. Patrice explained how the inner workings of Hollywood are, and how sometimes they're going to put up shows and put up certain movies a certain way to push an agenda. And we're seeing this in real time. We've been seeing this for the past few years with the way they've been like pissing on Marvel, DC, Star Wars. All these franchises are getting, being emasculated and whatnot.
Well,
I
see,
mean,
all
you-
those stories, Star Wars,
Mhm,
Superman, Batman,
mhm,
very iconic, a lot of iconic masculine themes associated with those characters
mhm,
and the stories. Star Wars is this great father-son drama where
mhm,
the son essentially reclaims the father or reclaims and the heritage of the family. You know, a lot of great themes about men, about fathers, about sons. The story, and that's what bothered me about them turning Jarrell into a villain. You know, look, that's a cute take on things today. But as you guys described, this is a story that's nearly 90 years in the making, man.
mhm.
I mean, and I mentioned, you know, I grew up reading Thor comic books, man, going back to like what 1970, 1971.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
Um,
so I mean, the stuff that they did with particularly with Thor and particularly with Odin, I'm like, wow. So you guys just didn't give a fuck, man.
about the source material, and with
You
it,
guys didn't give a fuck about the last 50 some odd years.
so with it Simon Wright, the artist, I forget what the artist who did it for the '70s. And I mean, think about it.
Yeah, the late great well, Walt Simon came later
Yeah,
in the
well, so,
'80s, but
yes,
Jack King Kirby, man.
Jack Kirby. You got to remember,
Yeah.
you had a resurgence with Thor 10 years ago with Thor to Gore the God Butcher, and look what they did in the movie.
Yeah,
mhm.
you
Gore
know,
the Gore the God Butcher should have been two movies. It should have been brutal. It should have been dark as fuck. All I see
Not in
is
this
Well, I
dark.
era.
mean,
Dark.
the whole thing they did, like with, I mean, well, we didn't get Beta Ray Bill.
Which is a goddamn shame, by that.
I mean, I'll never forgive them.
I will never forgive them for one of the most beloved characters in Marvel, especially
Yeah,
associated with Thor. And you put his
because
head
and
up.
the great thing about Beta Ray Bill, and it's kind of hard to explain if you didn't read the books, particularly during the time in which Simonson wrote them. But he basically turned Thor from a character into an idea.
Yeah.
He turned Thor into an idea, and that's like, and that's kind of what we're lamenting. What happened with Superman? Because Superman's an idea. It's not just a character. He's like the whole symbol of hope and all of that. He's an idea, and without that aspect of it, it's just okay. Like I say, if you made a movie and you didn't in any way associate it with Superman or whatever, it might have been enjoyable to see. But it's not enjoyable to see if you know the story of Superman, because this ain't it, fella. This ain't it.
See, years I've been shown the old comic books of Superman because my dad showed them to me. But the first movie, Superman movie, my next two words are Christopher Reeve. And since then, since that trilogy ended with Superman 3, I haven't gone back.
Well, Superman 4, though, that was a quest for peace.
True.
Which
I
also include a cloned villain, which
Yeah.
maybe Gunn stole that from
Oh.
that concept from that. And he did steal it from that because if I recall in the Quest for Peace, it was the same thing where Luthor got a hold of a hair of Superman and used that to clone. So he made that same reference in this movie. So even that was not an original idea of Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You mentioned the first Superman, the Christopher Reeves.
Yep.
The problem with topping, in my view, the problem with topping the Superman, the first Superman, Christopher Reeves. Come on, man! You had Marlon Brando.
Yeah, Marlon Brando.
You had Gene Hackman. Man.
Gene Hackman.
I mean, you had iconic.
Gene Hackman was Lex Luthor. Gene Hackman was Lex Luthor. Marlon Brando was
Jor-El. No,
Jor-El.
Glenn Ford.
Glenn Ford was in there. Margot Kidder was Lois. Margot Kidder was Lois Lane.
Was Kent.
Was Paul Kent.
You had such iconic actors portraying.
That was the franchise.
Yeah,
it's like you said, it was the franchise.
And then you got to remember, the last time we had another Superman that everybody held in high esteem was goddamn almost 30 years ago. So 30 years after with Man of Steel.
Yep.
Because everybody loved Henry Cavill. Do you know when Henry Cavill came up in the ending credits, the after credits was fucking Black Adam? Everybody cheered.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like
he
was so
another lost opportunity.
He was so like, I'm just like, you do know this motherfucker is loved, right? As Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You do this, mother. You do know Henry Cavill is a geek. Why do you think
Henry
he kept the hairy?
Cavill is
Why do you think
Henry
he kept the hairy chest? Because Superman had a hairy
and
chest.
hairy
You know
arms.
what? You know what
He
was
because he can't stay true to the source.
You know what
Like a
Cavill's problem was?
Was what?
what?
He had the nerve to be this beautiful looking guy who was also a nerd.
Yeah,
The nerds cannot.
He's a
The nerds cannot
multifaceted man.
stand that. Them white nerd guys cannot stand that. They
Yeah,
hate him for that.
yeah, because you know black guys have to be handsome men because of our culture,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to be nerdy because of our even if we're nerdy, in order to attract women in our culture, you have to be a nice dresser, a good talker. You probably got to have a
Physically
little
fit.
bit of physique. You got to have a physique about you. You got to be a smooth talker. So we relate more to Henry Cavill than the white boys do.
Yeah.
No, the white Henry Cavill makes white guys feel very insecure.
Yeah,
Pretty obvious.
Mr. I'm still your
Henry
bitch.
Cavill, yeah. Secondly, also given that Cavill, you know, being English and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
he is multifaceted, and he's also very well versed in the material that he as an actor, he's willing to embrace the character completely in every aspect of it.
And
No,
here's
but
another.
And he's
they
also
wouldn't have
a
had
gamer.
a problem with Cavill being any of that if they did not feel insecure about him taking their bitch.
Yeah,
They
that's for
love
one thing.
English guys. They love all that stuff, but they don't like
Especially
it
a very
when they
refined
feel.
gentleman in Henry Cavill.
They love all of that, but they don't
Mhm.
like it when this guy also got muscles popping out everywhere,
Yeah.
and the bitches are getting wet all around him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So that you can't have all the. That's it for them. That's an embarrassment of riches.
oh man, that you know this level of secure right there.
Just a big old embarrassment of riches, man.
Yo, let me take this into left field when I say this, but I grew up when I was a kid. Two movies that I did love watching were Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. There is no way they could do a remake or reboot of those two movies. Not in this time.
You can't.
Secondly, given the political climate we're in, could you imagine them trying to do Superman, Red Sun?
Oh Lord.
They messed that up.
They'd fuck it up completely. Especially given the political sensitivities right now.
Look at the political sensitivity they did in this movie.
Gavin
They
St.
dropped
Clair, you are very on point on that, my dear friend.
They dropped the ball more than the Cleveland Browns do in the first quarter.
They dropped the ball worse than.
Damn.
They dropped the ball worse than. No. They dropped the ball worse than. No. Wait. I got one for you.
Just a moment.
I got one.
They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball more than every Cleveland Browns quarterback since 1999 in a quarter.
Ooh.
You mentioned Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
Why has the late great James Earl Jones? Why has he not been given more credit? He was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
In the first one, yeah, he was. Because remember his commanding.
Even the ending, even when Conan kills him, that was just the scene leading up to that where he's giving this speech. That was a fantastic performance.
People forget this. Black people, people forget. Before acting, he also did Broadway. He did stage, and he knows how to be. He knows how to do Shakespeare.
Isn't he
one because of that?
Isn't he one of the few people to complete the slam, the Tony, the
I
Emmy?
I
One.
think he is, but and also, in fact, Arnold also credited him because he and Arnold, through the shooting of that, shooting of that film, they became good friends, and Arnold credited, Mr. Jones. I
Mhm.
gotta say Mr. Jones because I was raised right. He credited Mr. Jones in the finer points of acting, while in exchange, Mr. Schwarzenegger or Herr Schwarzenegger had showed Mr. Jones some of the finer techniques of how to stay in shape, like certain exercise routines and whatnot, and just the command that James Earl Jones had in that movie. Because I remember watching the Vile Eye, which is a good YouTube channel where they profile certain villain characters. His
I got
character,
it wrong.
yeah,
It's Tony the Emmy, the Grammy, and the Oscar. Didn't James Earl Jones complete the slam for those
yeah,
four?
the Tony. If he wanted, yeah, he must have won a Tony Award at least. I'm sure he was nominated.
I'm gonna
By the way, for folks who don't know, Tony Awards is the Oscar for Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you what's another knock. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I probably would have liked it if I was younger, or if the
But
Manic Group never existed. I would have probably enjoyed it more, but certain things were just so stark, it just took my eye. When you look at the fight between Ultraman and Superman at the end, it was lackluster. But when you look at the fight between Superman and Zod, that shit was
Oh
thrilling.
man, that fight between those two. Oh man,
in the Man of Steel, Superman. Okay,
that was thrilling. That shit was wow.
there
You
was
didn't know when it was
conviction in
them.
that fight. You had
Didn't
two
know when it
men.
was. Hold on. You didn't know
But
when it was them or CGI at points. It
uh-huh.
was like, wow. Like, this is how two god level fucking people should be. And what was the one knock Superman Returns had on it? There was no villain to challenge him.
no villain.
But then
No.
again, like I think it was Black Hulu said, in the first Superman with Christopher Reeve, you had Glenn Ford, Gene Hackman, Marlon Brando. In Man of Steel, who was Zod? Michael Shannon?
Michael
Woo-hoo!
Shannon.
Yeah.
You
Man,
heard
Michael
Kevin.
Shannon.
You heard
stop
Kevin.
it.
Michael Shannon. The way he played the role of Zod, his
You
conviction,
had
the way he embraced that
Russell
character.
Crowe as Jor-El. You had
Mhm.
Kevin Costner.
you had Costner as
Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. So I mean,
Thank
it just had a different. It just creates a different level
Matter of fact,
of authenticity.
Manliness.
And I don't know her name. That Kryptonian chick, that was a bad bitch, man. that was a bad bitch, man.
Yeah, he was a motherfucker in that movie.
We needed to see a showdown between her and Wonder Woman. Somebody
Yeah,
was
yeah,
supposed to make
we
that
needed
happen.
to see that.
yeah, because that
Somebody
would
was
have been
supposed to make that happen.
that would have been a knockdown drag out.
In a list, James Earl Jones is the only male to complete the EGOT slam.
Okay.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. James Earl Jones is the only listed male to do so. The other winners include Helen Hayes, Viola Davis, Jennifer Hudson, Audrey
Whoopi
Hepburn,
Goldberg.
Rita Moreno, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
He's the only male.
Odd. That's odd.
He's the only man ever done it.
You would have
He's
thought
the
Not
only-
male, man.
He's the only man to complete the slam.
Think about that.
no
That's
like
how you-
Gene Kelly or
Mm-mm.
who would have been? Well, I don't know.
not
Maybe
Gene.
I'm just trying to think somebody who would have been a theatrical.
Right.
Gene Kelly, he could have. Fred Astaire could have.
There, yeah, maybe, or
But they never acted in a Tony production.
Really? So Gene Kelly never
Nathan
did
Lane?
any Broadway, or he never did
No.
any Broadway?
No. Ooh, no.
Oh,
These the
They were
list that I
Vaudeville.
just gave the list that I just gave you are people who have performed in those 4 categories.
Mhm.
And James Earl Jones, though through honorary recognition in 2011 for his Oscar, he is the only man on this list to complete the 4 to complete the slam.
What's up, boys?
Yeah,
What's going
yeah,
on,
he
man?
has he's one of the few performers to achieve the EGOT. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar. He's also inducted in the American Theater Hall of Fame in '85. He was honored with National Medal of Arts in '92, Kennedy Center honor in '02, Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award in '09, and the Academy Honorary Award in 2011.
2011. What's going on, ABM?
Look, smart people ruin things.
Yeah.
Smart people are very dangerous. You put too many smart people in a room, bad things happen. And I think that's what we're seeing with these movies. I think smart people are too arrogant and everybody wants to have their own idea
Yeah.
so they can say, hey, I did that, right?
Right.
Instead of just going with the material, it's already there. You don't have to think. You can take any thousand of, any one of 1,000 different Superman stories that's already in the comics and just follow it. And I was just telling my son this just the other day, like 2 days ago, because he went and saw it. And I've been dragging my ass because me and my daughter was supposed to go see it last weekend, but because I'm like, and my son came in the house the other day and he's like, oh, I loved it. But I'm like, I don't, whatever. I'll wait and see because, I'm not too excited about anything DC and this, that, and the third. And I've been really trying to stay away from hearing anything about it until I went and saw it. And you can't help it because already people are complaining. You know what I mean? And it made me think about, I'm sitting here listening to y'all and now I'm thinking about Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because already I'm saying, you know what I mean? I'm just like, you feel me? Because they got the chick Silver Surfer. It can't be the guy Silver Surfer.
Oh, there we
And
go.
now you're hearing things about Susan Storm is the leader of the Fantastic Four. No, the fuck she's not. It's fucking Reed
Fuck out
Richards.
of here with that.
It has always been fucking Reed Richards.
And
So
Mr. Fantastic.
is this what they're gonna do? Is they gonna make kind of like Thunderbolts? How they made that chick like she was the lead? Is that what they're gonna do with Susan? They're gonna make her the fucking lead and like, yeah.
Yes.
It's smart people wanting credit for something instead of just going with what's already there, going what's proven to work,
and
that's
staying
all.
with it.
Like that's it.
And absolutely staying with it.
Well, but what has happened, and if you notice, there clearly is an infiltration in the the centers of male iconography that have been created over the last 80 years or whatever, where they make a point of infiltrating in like these key, like Star Wars, Star Trek, Superman, the Avenger. They know the power of these images. They know the power of these stories. They know that these stories transcend 2, 3, 4, or more generations, right? Where a 90-year-old great-great-grandfather can enjoy this story with his 5-year-old great-great-grandson. They know that. They know the power of the story of the traditional story of Superman, right? They know the power of the traditional story of Anakin Skywalker and Ben Kenobi and whatever. They know the influence of that, and they've made a point of infiltrating the creative and obviously the production and even financial influences in this iconology, and you can't get rid of these people.
Nope, you sure can't. Let me say goodnight. Been doing a lot of cleaning today, and now I'm finally hitting the wall. Let me say goodnight. Hey, thanks for having me.
Say hi to us for BGS's sister-in-law as well.
I will. Dr. Faulkner, got to get you back on my show, man.
Definitely. I got so much to talk about. I'm going to try to be more regular, you know.
Yeah.
I had to catch up with a lot of work, not only for my job, but for my business when I was sick for those 4 days. So it put me back 2 weeks. So I'm just catching up with a lot of shit now.
Understood. We got a lot of football to talk. We got a lot of man stuff to talk because
yeah,
definitely. I definitely
because I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
This movie made me realize how broken the indoctrination is from me compared to younger generations like my son.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was an 8.5. I thought it was a 6 to 7.
Dang, very generous.
And I'm like, the reason why there's a few things I liked, but there's it's
a
you
ton
can't
of things you don't like.
Well, look, we got one of, to be fair, we got arguably one of the best portrayals of a black superhero that's appeared in movies. Mr. Fantastic was fantastic.
I mean, you talk about Mr. Terrific.
Might have been the highlight.
Well, Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific.
The whole damn movie.
He was the highlight when he fucked everybody up at that camp. I was laughing my ass off.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And he fucked everybody up at that camp, and he said, and he pushed that white boy out of the way. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific.
And I like that brother got his due back from that bullshit they pulled
from
on
X-Men
him
first class bullshit.
Yeah.
Why you thinking? I'm glad they made him unapologetically black.
Right. 2 points for you, Dr. Faulkner, before I get out of here. First of all, found an old original broadcast of the White Sox and the Orioles from '83 with your boy Scott McGregor, the starting pitcher.
Oh shit!
And I have it.
Oh shit! That's a classic because that whole '83 team is goddamn Hall of Famers.
Dude, both sides. Okay,
damn Jim Palmer.
You had Jim Palmer, you had Mike Boddicker, you had Scott McGregor. Well, those are the only three that pitched in the ALCS. And then on the White Sox side, you had 2 20-game winners. Where's my memory? Richard Dotson, who was 22-7, and Lamar Hoyt, who was 24-10. And then you had lefty Floyd Bannister. And all 4 of those games, except for game 3, which was 6-1 Baltimore, the other 3 games were decided by 3 runs or less. And Mike Boddicker used to piss me off. You know why Mike Boddicker used to piss me off? Because he had a shorter leg kick than Palmer, but had the same curveball, had the same fastball, and had the same placement on his changeup. But no, I'm not supposed to know baseball at all because I'm black. Bullshit. I grew up with this. But yeah, I'm trying to get that entire series for you. But I have game 1.
Tell you what's crazy. When we talk about manhood.
Yeah.
With the exception of Mr. Terrific, which I love, that's one of the highlights for me, is Mr. Terrific getting the shine. And the actor in real life getting the shine back. By the way, I want that fucking jacket. I want that fucking Mr. Terrific jacket. They got to change the suit. because, like I said, when you showed me the Superman of Steel, and here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
When Henry Cavill came on the screen with that suit, did you not pop in your fucking head? It was like, that's Superman. Fuck it, that's
Mhm.
Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One more for
When
you. I
when
really got
Corn
to
Sweat went out there,
He's what Heath Ledger did to the Joker.
yeah,
You can't follow Heath Ledger anymore,
No, you
and
can't.
nobody can follow Cavill.
no, and when you look at it, Cavill got me excited to see Superman in a costume I haven't felt since fucking Reeves,
Nice.
Mm.
Nice.
and it was like I didn't like the trunks. I know me and Dr. T have a disagreement. Take away the goddamn trunks, modernize the cart. I said, Doc, with all due respect, I love you. I love you a lot. What you're saying is that we should have Iron Man still look like he did in his fucking 1960s get up. Oh, I bet you that would sell a lot of comics. He was
Yeah.
like, well, no. I said, you take away that and you made it look like an alien battle suit that made sense. When you saw the Snyder Cut, you saw all the alien suits. When you saw the black suit in the Snyder Cut, that shit was mean as a bitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Mm.
Hey, one more question for you, Charles. Does number 22 get 2,000 this year?
No,
No, because
no.
you're gonna need him. You're gonna need horsepower in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're
I
going to
will say-
keep him fresh.
Will
I
there
will say
be
17
a
to 8.
2,000 yard
If
rush?
he does,
Mm-hmm.
if he does, it's by miracle, but expect more 1,700.
Yeah, that sounds
With
about right.
a healthy Keaton Mitchell
Mm-hmm.
and Hill, they're gonna keep him fresh. They'll use him in games that they got to win during the regular season, but
Like
they don't want
division
to overload him.
right.
I think come playoff time, that's when you'll get a heavy dose of 22. So no, he's not gonna get 2,000.
Who
Oh,
are the last three players in the NFL history to run? Who are the last three players in NFL history to run for $2,000?
You tell me.
Of course, is Derek.
That's one.
Of course, is what's the dude in Philly right now?
Saquon Barkley.
That's
Saquon.
two.
And the dude from it's either the dude from the Broncos. Yes, the dude from the Broncos, or it's going to be
It's not Terrell Davis.
It's
He's
not
one
Terrell
that he's one that
What
did
about
rush for
the
2,000.
guy? What's the name for Titans? Didn't he?
You're getting warm, but the
He's
last
talking about Chris Johnson.
Yeah,
we
Chris,
got,
is it Chris
we got
Johnson?
two of the last three. We got two of the last three. We got
Oh,
Saquon Barkley, who just did it. We
you're
got
talking
Derrick
about
Henry, who did it 4
Adrian
years
Peterson. And Adrian Peterson.
We got it. Adrian Peterson,
Oh, I don't remember Adrian Peterson running for
2012,
I remember when Adrian Peterson broke
and that was
broke
coming
up.
off
That was
the
the very next season after the ACL injury.
after the ACL.
I remember when he broke Jamal Lewis's record, who also ran for 2,000.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and this is where I'm gonna sound like an old man. To me, OJ is the only one with that record. Because OJ did that in 14 games.
True, very true. And
With knock knees.
The undisputed greatest running back of the 70s, OJ Simpson.
OJ Simpson.
Undisputed.
Nobody was better in the 70s.
And I'm
OJ.
in Chicago, and obviously we had Sweetness.
Y'all hated Buffalo.
OJ.
OJ ran for Buffalo.
The thing about Sweetness is he was 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So you can't really say, because like when you talk 80s, it's hard to put Walter Payton over Eric Dickerson.
Yeah. Sweetness was a tweener. He was a tweener.
That's the problem.
Standpoint. Yeah.
Who is the first? Okay, try this. Who are the three running backs in NFL history with 1,000 season?
One is the first
Marshall
one,
Faulk,
Roger Craig.
Marshall
Roger
Faulk is one.
Craig,
Gotta
and I
have
don't know the third
Two.
one.
We got two of them. We got Marshall Faulk. We got Roger Craig. Who was the third one? I'll give you a clue. He's a current
What
player.
year was it? What team did
He's
he
a
play
current.
for?
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. Okay.
He's forgetting about Chris McCaffrey. Yeah.
How about this one? Who is the only quarterback in NFL history with multiple 5,000-yard seasons?
Joe Montana.
No.
No.
Matter of fact,
Aaron Rodgers.
It's Peyton, right? It's not
Montana
Peyton.
never got 4,000 in a year.
Aaron
Is
Rodgers.
it Peyton?
No. Someone said Aaron Rodgers. No.
Okay. Team and what year were they?
Brady.
Is it Breeze?
It is Drew Brees.
Yeah, Breeze.
Okay. Drew Brees is still the Saints. All right.
Okay. How about this one? In 2011, there were three quarterbacks to toss for 5,000 yards. Name them.
11.
One of them had to be Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is one.
Would
is it
one of them
Brady?
be Tom Brady?
Brady?
That's two.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton, right?
Say again?
Not Peyton?
No,
Peyton Manning or Eli Manning?
neither.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
You said
Definitely not
11.
Dante Culpepper.
Is it Rossberger?
They got it. Matthew Stafford.
Stafford?
Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah. I
He was
guess
with the
did.
Lions at the time.
Yeah, I guess he did throw it a line.
All right, try this one while I'm throwing questions out there. Who was the first receiver in Super Bowl history with 5 Super Bowl yes, who was the first receiver in Super Bowl history with 5 Super Bowl touchdowns?
You mean
Right.
like across
Right.
several Super Bowls?
Across several.
So, Rice?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
That was too
Yeah.
easy. Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
All right, try this one. Who's the only receiver in Monday Night Football history with 2 90-plus yard touchdowns?
Moss?
Ooh. Not Moss.
Not Moss?
Not Moss.
Greg Jennings.
Hell no.
The guy for the Phillies in the 2000 little guy.
Nope.
What team? What year was this? What years were this?
He gave us the years. He didn't give us the years.
I didn't give the year.
He wouldn't give us the team either.
2 90-plus yard touchdowns in the same game, and it was on Monday Night Football.
Damn.
I come up with stuff like this, and my wife hears me, and she just goes, "How do you come up with this off the top of your head?" And then she goes and researches it.
Well, let me ask this question without. Hopefully, it's not too. Is he a reputed burner?
He was underrated.
He was underrated.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hold on, you talking about Taylor?
Got it. John Taylor.
Ah,
John, for the Niners?
Yes, sir.
Really?
11 catches, 280 yards, 2 90-plus yarders, and the Niners came all the way back to win that game 30-27.
Yeah, John Taylor was definitely underrated.
Yep,
He was
John
definitely-
Taylor.
He was definitely an underrated player.
And what makes it so
had
bad,
He,
that
had
was
he not
his-
been playing with Rice, he might have gotten a lot more.
He'd have gotten a lot more, but he wouldn't. But I believe he wouldn't have 3 Super Bowls either.
Well,
Yeah.
probably not that.
He would not have 3 Super Bowls either.
But he never.
Fair
it's
point.
interesting. He was well, he played very well, but he never really got any kind of press at all. It's interesting. how
He didn't need it
Yeah.
because when he came into the league in 1986, he was a punt returner.
Oh,
Oh.
He was a punt returner when the Niners selected him in 86. He made the team. I should say he made the team as a punt returner.
yeah. It's funny. I
Okay.
remember when Jerry Rice came into because there were like about 3. I think there were 3 receivers drafted ahead of him. I remember being
Yeah.
Al Toon,
Altoon was one.
Oh man, I think
But you got to remember, the Niners traded up to get Jerry Rice, and here was the caveat: they were the defending champions.
Yeah. See, I saw Jerry Rice play at Mississippi Valley,
Yep.
and down there in
Yep.
Mississippi.
Mhm.
And, people, well, it was black and SWAC, and
Right.
people have problems with, you have Willie Totten, the gunslinger,
Mhm.
Willie Totten coach, and what was the quarterback? And in today's time, that quarterback would have made the NFL.
True.
There's a black quarterback in the 80s. He wasn't
True.
gonna get. He
In
wasn't gonna
fact,
get
the
chance. What
stadium
was
where
his name?
Mississippi Valley
Because that boy
played,
could sling that ball. That boy could fire that rock.
the place where they play is called Rice Taunton Stadium, and it was named after that combination: Willie
Yeah.
Taunton and Jerry Rice.
Willie Totten and Jerry Rice.
Willie Taunton and
And
Jerry Rice.
but when you saw him in college, man, this
Oh,
guy.
I know.
Man,
Oh,
woo!
you know what makes it so bad? You know what makes it so bad, Uru? When they went to scout him, they made Rice switch numbers
Really?
because
They
his last game, his last game, he did not wear 88. He wore 21. And one of Bill Walsh's scouts recognized him, and that's how they snatched him.
Oh, so they kind of.
They tried to pull a fast one on their opponent. Mississippi Valley State did. They tried to pull a fast one on their opponent.
They said Jerry's hands. His father was a bricklayer.
He was a bricklayer, and Jerry used to catch bricks. He would throw bricks, and Jerry was
catching bricks, man.
Mhm.
That's how them hands.
He was
got the way they
catching.
were.
He was catching bricks.
Yeah.
He was catching bricks, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hank Aaron had a similar kind of background because he had those crazy wrists. Those wrists were like stone.
Mm-hmm. Let me throw a baseball one at y'all. And very few people get this. Who is the only team in Major League Baseball history to roll 2 triple plays in the same game?
Cardinals?
No.
Was it Blue Jays?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, if it was, there was some Jericho juice on the ball.
Yeah, Juan Canadian Guzman. No, it was not.
Yeah, I always have to bring up the Jericho juice.
It is not Juan Canadian Guzman in the Blue Jays.
I'm really surprised it's not either the Cardinals or the Blue Jays.
Mm-mm.
Okay, this is not a White Sox team, was it? Wasn't a White Sox, definitely not the Cubs.
Nope.
I'm sorry, the Scrubs.
You all are going to be surprised.
Are any of them the people involved Hall of Famers?
No.
Okay, would have been Tigers. I'm thinking either Tigers, then known as the Cleveland Indians, maybe. The Reds, nah.
Getting warm.
What?
You're getting warm.
The Twins.
Brewers?
Got it.
No, I said I got it. The Twins.
Minnesota Twins.
The Twins. Okay.
Was Puckett on that? Was Puckett on that starting 9?
Yes, he was. So and he was a Hall of Famer. I'm thinking of the infielders, but I'm thinking of Gary Gaetti, Al Newman, and Ken Herbeck. But indeed, Puckett is a Hall of Famer. July 17th, 1990, in Fenway Park, they rolled 2 triple plays. The Twins did in the same game. You know the fucked up part about that game?
What? They lost.
The Twins lost that game 1-0.
That's the year. Wait a minute. This is the year that that's the year that they won the World Series, right?
Year before.
Okay.
The Twins
year
won
before,
in 1991.
Okay, 91. Then 92, 93, Blue Jays had back-to-backs.
Yep.
94, you had the strikeout. You had the strike.
Mm-hmm. All right, here you go. Here's a
Mister, will you please go to bed?
I'm trying. Here's a football. Who's the first quarterback in NFL history with a 4,000-yard season?
Ooh, decade, please. What decade?
No hints.
Was it Namath?
Mm,
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Joe Namath.
Oh, only
right.
only an OG would know that.
Let me see if this OG can get this one.
I
Who's
remember
the
that
first? I remember that one too, man. Who's the first quarterback with a 5,000-yard season?
one. 5. Oh.
Didn't we mention him earlier?
Dan
It
Marino.
wasn't Marino, was it?
Someone said it. Say it again.
Marino.
Dan Marino.
Yeah, Marino.
Mm.
Yeah.
5,000
Miami's a
yards. Who
Mhm.
broke his record?
Drew Brees.
Yes. On Monday Night Football, no less.
Damn.
Yeah, I think
Well-
the nobody ever said because he was a great coach, but I think Shula
Mm.
messed over Marino.
John Shula.
Was
it Don Shula?
The Dolphins did Marino wrong.
The
Man.
Dolphins.
They went to
Marino
the
is the
Super
greatest
Bowl
thrower of the football player.
Because
football.
I'll tell
The
you how
Dolphins
Shula-
failed to put a team around him.
after 1984.
Once the Mark brothers was gone, that was it. I mean, he carried that
Yeah.
fucking franchise.
For
Dan
years.
Marino never had a running back that I can remember their name.
Never had a running back, never
Closest-
had a defense.
the
Like
closest thing
Only
they
one I can
had-
remember, but he had to legally change his name afterwards. Do y'all remember? His name was originally his name was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but when Kareem sued him,
Yeah.
no, there was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but that
And
thing
the real
was
Kareem made him change his name or
Made him-
whatever.
made
yeah,
him-
he had to change. Yeah, he changed his name to Abdul Kareem Al-Jabbar.
but he was no
Al-Jabbar
good.
afterwards.
But he was no
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he was
The
not
closest
really
they
that
had-
good. He got
Yeah.
attention because
The
of his
closest
name.
the
than his
Dolphins
actual
had
name.
to a running back tandem, they started
Uh-huh.
one Super Bowl together. It was Tony Nathan and Woody Bennett.
Mhm.
And after they bit the dust due to injuries and the Marx brothers
Mhm.
left 3 years later, they were done for.
Yeah.
Matter of
Now,
when I think of
think about that
Miami-
for a second. Hold on. Think about that for
Go
a
ahead.
second.
fact,
So you're Dan Marino and you're carrying the fucking franchise.
Oh,
Meanwhile, you got Elway in Denver.
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
an Austin,
And then you got Jim Kelly
Jim Kelly
in the
in
same
Buffalo.
division
yep,
with Andre Reed, James Lofton,
James Lofton,
Don Beebe,
Don Beebe,
and then Thurman Thomas.
and on
Yeah.
top of that, you had Keith McKellar out of Jacksonville State, who became their starting tight end before he got injured, and Pete Metzelaars took over that spot.
Well,
When I
that
think
Bills
of Don
team was stacked.
Beebe, I think of the pogo stick, but
That Bills team was stacked
Yeah, it
on
was
Yeah.
both sides.
offense and defense.
It was stacked to
Bruce
they had
Smith,
to play
anybody?
whoever. They were stacked until they had to play whoever came out of
But
the NFC.
But you know
East.
who was the most underrated? You know who was the most underrated member of that Bills defense?
who?
Cornelius Bennett.
I knew you was going to take Cornelius Bennett.
I
knew
thought
he was gonna take Cornelius Bennett.
Tally was a good.
Tally was
Tally
good.
was
Dog, they-
good,
Yeah.
but Cornelius
Tally
Bennett
was a good
was
linebacker.
everywhere.
But no, Cornelius probably was the best.
Cornelius Bennett was the best at that line. Matter of fact, Cornelius Bennett and Darryl Talley bookended that linebacking core.
if you can remember
Hmm.
the AFC during this era, so many of those AFC teams had talent except for Miami.
Except for Miami.
Like even Bernie
Mhm.
Kosar.
But,
Yeah.
but here's the
like
thing.
even they had talent.
exposed by how
You know what? You know
tougher
who
the
helped Bernie
NFC
Kosar the most in that offense? Two players.
Michael
Kevin-
Jackson and Metcalf.
No, not those two. Earlier than that, Kevin Mack and Webster Slaughter.
Holy shit,
And-
Kevin Mack and Webster Slaughter. Oh,
Let me throw a third name at you.
oh,
Let me throw a third name at you in that offense. Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome, the great Ozzie Newsome.
But you can't forget about Kevin Mack.
Webster
and
Slaughter. That's a
People-
name right there.
people forget Bernie Kosar.
I don't. I don't
Kosar
remember
might have been the
team.
last great quarterback the Browns
One of the
had.
few players who came into the league throwing sidearm. Look at his delivery. One of the few quarterbacks that came into the league throwing sidearm.
Yeah, wasn't he undrafted?
Nah, Kozar was
No.
a high draft.
No.
No, he
Kozar
came
was
out
the
of
first
what,
rounder
Miami, right?
out of Miami.
Yeah.
And what got Kozar drafted was a duel he had with Doug Flutie in 1984.
Right. Yeah. The
The
Flutie,
day after
Hail
Thanksgiving
Mary,
game.
right?
Yep, the day after
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
the Hail
game
Mary. Yeah.
in Miami.
They love them some Flutie,
Wow.
didn't they? That whole play.
Look,
He brought
Chestnut
that joker here.
Hill will be
He brought
named.
that joker here to Chicago.
Listen, Chestnut Hill will forever be named Flutie Town for that throw on November 23rd, 1984.
They love Flutie.
Okay, here's a question for you. Here's a trivia question for you. Who's the only team in the NFL to not have a 4,000-yard passer?
Bears?
Yep. Jay Cutler got close twice. Eric Kramer got close once.
It hurt my heart because I was like, I know he's talking about Chicago.
Hold on a second. Wait. Brian,
Yes.
Snowman,
Yes, sir.
if that's the truth, all I can say is, what in Jim McMahon's fake front teeth is this BS?
Well,
You know why
here's
they
the
never,
thing.
you know
This
why they
is-
never had a
This is one
4,000
of
yard
the
passer?
oldest. This is one of the founding
Franchises. Mhm.
in the history of the league, and
And
their
never
last
Through.
great quarterback played what in the 1950s?
Yep.
God damn.
Sid Luckman.
Yeah, Sid Luckman.
Sid the Kid.
Yeah.
This is a franchise that featured, of course, we talked about Walter Payton.
Mhm.
Stay on that team. Willie Gault, Dennis McKinnon. Before him, the
Michael Singletary,
Mike
Steve
Singletary
Mongo Michael.
on the defense. Before Peyton, you had Gale Sayers, the Kansas Comet. You had Sid Luckman, and nobody threw for 4,000 yards on that.
But notice we mentioned his name earlier. There was one guy who got all of it and got it good. Dan Marino smoked that Bears team. Smoked it.
38 to
And
24.
I've always said that because the Bears got lucky. I don't know how or why, but New England beat Miami, I think, in the
AFC Championship.
in the AFC Championship.
Because had they
I
faced
think
Miami,
that
they
Super
would have
Bowl
beat.
might go a very different because
Mhm.
of Dan's. The Bears was playing at 46 defense. It was high pressure, a lot of blitzing, and Marino ate that shit alive, man. That release, he was killing them with that, man.
And it was a quick release.
I mean, he was like what was it? That's the phrase, styles make fights.
Mhm.
He was the
Yeah.
perfect quarterback to go against that 46 defense.
Bears were
He
12-0 coming in.
because the
14
Bears were, except for that game, the Bears were undefeated that season.
They were 12-0 coming into that game on a Monday night. Marino
And
was
Perfect season, huh?
Chicago,
Let me
motherfuckers
see.
about to ride in Chicago.
Let me see if I remember my numbers correctly. Marino went 14 of 27, 270 yards. He did throw a pick, but he did throw 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
And it was the New England Patriots who beat Miami 31-14 in the AFC Championship. The quirk about that, it was in Miami. They went to
Yeah, and it was
Miami.
interesting in Chicago because it was like this nervous kind of excitement
Mhm.
of possible rematching with
Yep.
Marino, but it
Everybody
was
was
also
looking forward.
like,
Everybody
damn.
was talking about it and looking forward to it. And Steve
So-
Grogan and the boys
So
went
when
down to
New
Miami.
England won, it was kind of anticlimactic in Chicago because it was
And
like,
that
oh, we
was the
got them
second time.
motherfuckers.
And think about this. That was the second time they beat them in Miami.
Mhm.
That was the second time because they beat them in the regular season in Miami, and then in the AFC Championship, they went to Miami and whipped their ass.
Styles make fights.
Styles make fights. All right, try this one. Who's the first quarterback in 49er history with a 4,000-yard season? Give you a hint. He did it twice within 3 years.
It's not
Young?
Steve Young.
Steve Young. Yeah, I was gonna say Steve Young.
That's all
But
some Steve Young shit.
Steve
Matter
Young,
of fact, both
there was
years-
a time when Steve Young was like the most like highly rated quarterback in history. or
7
whatever,
out
right?
of 9. 7 out of 9 years.
Yeah.
People forgot how fast Steve Young was on his feet too.
Oh
People forgot how much Steve Young was an athlete.
yeah, he was very
Because
athletic.
I'll tell you a play that really made me a fan of Steve Young. They were playing the Atlanta Falcons, and it was toward the end of the third quarter. Young took the snap and dropped back. Everybody in a white uniform in Atlanta coming after him. He rolled to his left. Tim Green nearly had him. He juked him out of the way, went back the other way, and when he threw it, he pulled the string on the ball. It got tipped by Scott Case, and Steve Young raced in and caught it. Matter of fact, let me put that play up for you. Let me see if I can find the play and put it up for you guys. Because this shows you how much of an athlete Steve Young was. Here it is, right here. Charles, can you play that in the back, please?
Give me 1 second. Look, there we go. Let's hope we get a second.
Watch
Brandon
this.
Gordon in at linebacker now for Atlanta. Young trying to find a man, getting some pressure now. Tim Green turns him back.
This is vintage Steve Young. Oh, he caught his own ball, tried to score. Unbelievable.
That was insane.
Yeah, that was a hell of a play.
Lamar did it better.
There he did.
But listen, let me say something about Steve Young. A lot of people gave him shit when the 49ers pushed out Montana.
Yeah, they did. They did. I was one of them.
He
I was
ate
one
a
of the
lot
people
of
that
shit.
did
And this was the rise
Had to
of the
deal with that shit.
Cowboys. And he
Mhm.
couldn't get around Dallas to save his fucking life until that year Dion got there.
1994.
He ate a lot of shit to get to that Super Bowl.
And
Well,
and
you know,
threw it
the
back- and
knock
threw
on
it back
Young
at him.
was he didn't have, and I don't think I think he was, maybe he was a very efficient quarterback, but he did not have Montana's stuff. Montana had some extra stuff that Steve Young didn't have.
That's
He
Montana
wasn't
had
as
that,
clutch.
Montana had that
Build
like
it. Steve
Jordan.
Young had to build his own stuff.
He wasn't as
Yeah, but
clutch,
what
but
I'm
you got to
saying,
understand.
Montana was more of a, pressure on the line, make a play, whatever. That Montana had
I
more
agree.
of that
I agree.
Jordan
He
I agree
wasn't.
with that.
He wasn't
I agree
as
with that.
clutch as Montana. But to be fair, the Dallas Cowboys was a fucking machine.
True.
Oh yeah, Dallas was coming.
You can't get mad, and I am no means a Cowboys fan.
Right.
You can't get mad. Dog, nobody could beat the Cowboys. Brett Favre got lucky. What year was that? 90 what? 90
95.
93?
No, well, they won it in '97, right?
That was 97?
No, they won in 96. You're talking about 95. That was in 95.
It
The
was-
playoffs were 96.
Oh, it was
The
97.
quarterback that got lucky enough to beat the Cowboys in that era was Steve Young. 1994.
You're asking a lot for somebody. But because listen, remember, how many times did Brett Favre meet the Cowboys in the NFC Championship and got smoked?
Once.
And by the way, let me sidebar for a second. Brett
Yeah.
Favre is the most overrated quarterback in the history of football. Sorry.
I love that. Hey, Charles.
Overrated as hell.
And the irony. Oh, wait. I gotta say something.
Just a moment. Charles,
Yeah.
there's another present for you in the back.
There's an argument
But
that
it-
Favre is
to shit on the amount of shit that Steve Young was getting because he couldn't beat Dallas is like, dog, it's crazy.
Take a
That
look
was
at
a
this
great team.
run.
Roger Craig still on his feet, still running.
Oh yeah.
What a run by
High
Roger
stepping,
Craig.
high stepping.
I want to see a better one than that.
I
From
saw
42
that live and jumped out of my chair.
That's going to be a lot of highlights for a long time. What an effort by Roger Craig.
Mhm.
John Robinson was just saying yesterday he thinks right now Roger Craig is the best running back in the league. And I can see why. You know, he has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take
Good
on
block by
a
John
tackler.
Taylor.
I tell you,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is an amazing ability that this guy has.
No, the 49 Rice and Taylor were fantastic blockers.
That's what made the birth of the West Coast offense what it was.
Mm-hmm.
How, okay, in what year did Roger Craig win the Offensive Player of the Year?
That's
I was little at the time, so I would know.
87,
You're getting warm.
88.
86.
88.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it has been
1502 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's a pretty good season, especially since he caught a lot of passes.
92 of them.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
He caught 92. He caught actually it was 85 where he had 92 catches. And the strange part about that led the league.
I can believe that.
Running back led the league in receptions in 85 with receptions. 92 of them.
Believe that.
That's wild. I look at that stuff. I look at that stuff today. In fact, I'm gonna write an article and do a video on it tomorrow about Roger Craig.
Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
No, he
I
is
was
not.
just getting ready to say that. Who did he piss off? Because him not being in the Hall of Fame is criminal.
Is criminal. It is wrong, and it's more than an oversight.
It's injustice.
It is. It is.
It's a great injustice.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
what's
if you can
Like the
celebrate
fact that Sterling Sharp is in the Hall of Fame and Roger
and
Craig's not.
Craig isn't.
That's crazy.
The fact that you can
No,
celebrate.
brother,
Just a minute.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I mean, Sterling Sharp is the only receiver that I think was the equal of Jerry Rice that I've ever seen play.
But he didn't have
I've
the year.
I've been watching football since the 70s.
But he didn't have the years. That's the problem.
I don't care.
An injury.
That was due to a neck injury.
Let me
His
tell
neck
you,
injury.
Sterling Sharp.
Let me say this. Sterling Rice did everything Jerry Rice was doing, and he was doing it in the ice, sleet, and snow in Green Bay.
Only thing that killed Sterling Sharp's career was a neck injury.
That's the only
Which I
thing.
mentioned.
That's
He
only
was the
thing.
equal of Jerry Rice.
I agree with that. I
before
agree.
he
He
got
was the equal of Jerry. He was the equal of Jerry Rice and was well on his way to busting all his records. Unfortunately, he was just taken out for 2 years with a neck injury, and he just couldn't recover from it.
I mean, you know, his brother Sterling Sharp was Shannon Sharp was a great football player. He wasn't even in the class of Sterling.
No.
As great as Shannon was, Sterling was a top all-time great receiver. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Sterling was a top 100 football player. Were it not for the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Deion Sanders said about him on Club Shay Shay? Like when they were talking about, you know, all the receivers he matched up. He's
had every physical capability. And Deion, see, here's the thing: as great as Deion was, you could get him out of his game. Like he would struggle with Sterling. He would struggle with with
Guys,
Michael Irvin.
call it night.
He
If
would
a
struggle with
receiver
Irvin.
was physical, you could get to Dion, and they were physical. They were strong and they were physical.
Yeah. I got one.
He
for
said
you.
he even said it himself. I mean, he even said it himself. He said, like, first of all, if you back off him, he gets hit. Who's going to tackle him? And if you get right there where he can grab you, he's getting every slant he wants. Tim McCobb, come on over here.
I got
He was
one.
like,
I got one for you
Go ahead.
guys. Try this one. Who's the only player in NBA history with this quadruple play? Regular season MVP, finals MVP, and defensive player in the year. And it's a triple play. I misspoke. The trick is, did it all in the same year. Only one player has done it.
Michael Jordan.
Nope.
Wait a minute. You talking about in basketball?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem. Yeah, it was Hakeem.
Someone just said it. Say it again.
Hakeem the Dream.
Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely
1994.
Hakeem. Definitely Hakeem in '94, right?
1994.
Yeah.
That's the year. That's one. That was like when. That's one of the two of the back-to-backs championships that the Rockets won, right?
One of the two.
That-
The first one.
I was watching.
94.
I was watching that finals when NBC cut away from the finals to air the OJ white Bronco chase. I'll never forget it.
Me neither.
That white Bronco.
I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Put the game back on.
Put the fucking game back on. What are you doing?
Exactly. What the fuck? I talked with Jody about this one night because we were looking at some old Olajuwon highlights. And she said, isn't this the game? It was game 5 in New York. And she said, isn't this the game where they cut away from it for the Bronco chase? I said, yes, unfortunately it is. And she says, that's some bullshit.
Yeah. Although I and again, maybe this is me being older. I didn't want them to kill OJ. So I remember, like I grew up watching OJ play, so I was like,
Right.
man, I don't want to see them shoot OJ down, like a dog on the highway, So I remember having a different view about that, during that time.
You know what got me into broadcasting?
What?
Let me find it. I don't think Uru's heard me play this, but this voice right here back home in Chicago got me into broadcasting.
Michael on the drive across the lane, turnaround shot, got it. 63 for Jordan.
The late
Yeah,
great
buddy.
Jim Durham.
Yeah, Jim Durham. Jim
I
Durham.
think it's
Jim
funny
Durham and
because
Johnny. Listen, Jim Durham and Johnny Red
Johnny
Kerr
Red Kerr.
are the
Yeah.
reason I got into doing play-by-play, because I first heard Jim Durham in '85 when the games were on WIND. Remember that station?
UIND.
They were on WIND, and then the next year it got flipped to WMAQ, and I was hooked forever.
I'm gonna say this. I remember the OJ trial back in 8th grade, and it was something funny because I went to a private school, a Catholic school that was black, all black, and it's interesting how, I guess that was my nigga wake up call of being young, of how strict of a dichotomy it was for black and whites, and how we viewed the trial differently.
Right.
And all these years, you find out how much this fucking department, how foul they were.
Exactly.
And everybody was, and all white people was like, hang this motherfucker. And it's critically funny how before that, OJ was the darling of white people.
Oh, they loved him.
He was. Many years on Monday
What was it
Night.
Eddie Griffin said? OJ is y'all nigga. That's not our nigga. That's y'all, nigga, white folks. The juice is y'all's. But go ahead.
And
Many years in broadcasting, many years on Monday Night Football gave him that.
Yeah.
Gave him that
And-
crossover
Mhm.
success.
and
Well,
it's
I mean,
funny.
this guy was making movies with like, Paul Newman and
True.
Leslie
those
Nielsen.
guys, and
Yeah. Oh
mean, he
God,
was a
the
big
Naked
deal.
Gun, the Naked Gun series.
Yeah.
Remember
I mean, he was in the Towering Inferno with Steve McQueen and them guys, man.
Yeah, he
a
was.
big deal.
Yeah, he was.
Think about when he was like doing all the car rental commercials and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Leaping over
Like-
counters and shit.
like God, man, you just
The orange juice commercials. The honey roast ham.
All of them. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like, the big, sort of Jordan versus Jordan before Jordan in terms of like the black, sports,
Hero.
endorser or whatever. He was it.
Mm-hmm. He was. He was everywhere.
it's funny because it's one thing about millennials on up. They will actually look at tapes of yesteryear to actually look at sports,
Yeah.
sports and athletes to give them a good indication of how great some of these people were.
Right.
But you'll never ever see people from Gen Z on down look at tapes and be like,
They don't want it. They think they know everything.
well, LeBron did all this and he got the most points. You should if you've been to your job every day. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but
You all have heard me on the air in the many fights I have with bronsexuals. Dear God.
Oh yes, the bronze sexual confessions.
Dear God in heaven. It's become a thing. It's gotten so big now that some of my friends in Discord have taken to bronsexual confessions. Don't ask me how that happened.
You know what I think the bronze sexual thing is? I think it's have you guys may have been on either side of this phenomenon in a positive way or a negative way. Has there ever been a great party that happened that everybody attended, and people talk about it 10, 15, 20 years later? Have you ever had that experience?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Actually, yes.
think of the guy who was in your group who missed that party.
I dig that.
That's
can
the
dig that.
Michael Jordan, LeBron
Ron
James
James
issue.
conversation. Right.
They resent the fact that the greatest party that ever occurred happened before their ass knew was either around or was able to really enjoy it.
Resented
Because
the piss out of it.
when you think about Michael Jordan, you think about this experience
Right.
during his, going all the way back to North Carolina. If you old, it goes all the way back to North Carolina. Then it goes to the Olympics in 1984.
1984.
And then it goes to the Bulls and Come Fly With Me. I mean, it's like this like
86.
great epic. It's
Don't
not
forget the
even
original
just-
Space Jam.
Exactly. It's not even just how great of a player he is, it's how great of a story of sort of the arc of him. And it's unique. It's very unique because of all of those things that happen, right? And if you're young, you missed all of that.
And I'm gonna say this, right?
You missed him hitting the shot against Georgetown, right?
Here's another
You
part.
missed
That's
him winning the Olympics in 1984. You missed a lot. You missed him winning the slam dunk contest and then competing against Dominic and other the somewhat controversial. I mean, you missed a lot of
you missed a lot of the not just the
wonderful
external story,
imagery.
but not just the external story, but the internal story.
All of it.
You missed all of
You
it.
missed, you missed, oh, man, you missed. Let me tell you, to me, the most exciting thing, or one of the most exciting things that happened, I remember back then, during the first championship. I'm a Chicagoan. I'm grew up in mostly bad years. I visited Chicago Stadium. You paid $2 to get
And you
in,
get in.
and rats were running around in the back, and
Yep.
it smelled like piss everywhere in the pre-Jordan era. So I
Yes.
remember
The Reggie Theus era. The era
I
before
remember
everything.
that. So, but I remember when they made the championship, and they finally got past the Pistons, and it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the most exciting part about all of that was when I came to the realization that we were playing Magic Johnson in the finals. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Even to this day.
Oh yeah.
There is no, I mean, I remember Michael Jordan was doing this interview in a local sports news. This was before he became too big to basically do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think it might have been after they lost the first game.
Yes.
And he was doing this interview, and Magic surprised him and came into the telecast. And I remember, I was like, we fucking playing Magic Johnson in the finals. I mean,
wasn't it incredible?
I even to this
Wasn't it
day,
incredible?
even
June
after
3rd,
all the championships and whatever, this is Magic.
First
We're playing
game of the
Magic
finals.
Johnson in the finals.
First game of the finals, June 3rd, 1991. I'm at home with my parents. And this is when the NBA Finals games on Sunday, at least, were played at like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yep.
They were played at
Hey, yo, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Good night.
Good night.
Later, Nick.
They were played at 3 in the afternoon. NBC had the full coverage.
Which to me is still the best time and the only time. Really, 3:00 Sunday afternoon is kind of really the only time to really play an important basketball.
Which was the best time to play.
Yeah.
I had two sources on. I had the television feed on with NBC, and I had the radio feed on with WLUP up in my room. My mother and my father looked at me. I looked back at them. And I'll never forget my mom saying, "Do you believe we're playing Magic fucking Johnson in the finals?"
Even to this day, man, I'm like, I cannot believe we're playing Magic in the finals. Magic comes out and he's smiling, and MJ's surprised, and everybody's surprised.
Everybody on the south side of Chicago were jumping up and down like they're in a candy store with unlimited sugar and didn't have to pay for a thing.
It was like the whole environment changed.
It did.
It's like the whole environment. I mean, Jordan was great as Jordan, but it was, because Magic had played in so many championships leading up to that point. Going back to prior. So when Magic came, it was like, oh, this shit is for real.
Exactly.
It's almost like prior to that,
we've seen Magic play. We've seen Magic play the 76ers. Did that twice.
Yeah.
Seen him play the Boston Celtics.
Dr. J.
We saw him play against Dr. J twice. Saw him play against Larry Bird 3 times. Saw him play the Detroit Pistons twice and Isaiah Thomas. Now it's our turn. 1991.
And when we lost that first game, it was like, oh shit, this shit is real.
Exactly. Exactly. After losing game 1 when Sam Perkins
we were scared.
hit a 30-footer to basically win the game, and MJ barely missed the shot to tie the game. We lost that game 93-91.
Off an assist from Urban fucking Magic Johnson.
Everybody in the house looked at I looked at Dad, I looked at Mom. I looked at my sister, and my dad was the first one to speak. I'll never forget it. He goes, "Oh shit, now it's real."
and MJ comes back and he has 13
And
shots in the row.
blitz they ass.
And that's when you knew, hey man.
Came back in game
And
2.
then they went out there in LA and showed out.
Off.
Man. They went out
They completely showed
They
off.
showed out there in LA, man.
And here's the thing. I was watching game 3 at a friend's house. When Scotty fouled out after the Lakers went up 92-90 on a lucky ass shot by Vlade Divac, where he ran into Scotty, they counted the basket. Scotty fouled out on that play. First thing out of my mouth was, MJ's got to touch the ball. And I had the radio feed on in my bag. And I hear Jim Durham say, "This is like game 1 down to the second." And I shook. I'm sitting there going, he's right. And then Michael pulls up and buries an 18-footer to tie the game.
And I think had they lost that game, I think that series might have gone in the
I think the
direction.
series was over.
I think that game basically decided that series.
But a 12-4 overtime blitz gave us that series, because if we don't win game 3, we don't win that series.
Yeah.
And then blew him out in game 4. And then John Paxson showed his ass in game 5.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter. But it's like you said.
Didn't John Paxson finish up with like 27 or something?
20 points. 20 points. 10 in the fourth.
I mean, that whole goddamn fourth quarter was John Paxson.
Yeah, it was. The last 5 minutes were John Paxson.
Yeah, like the last 6 or 7 minutes, all John Paxson.
I'll tell you the biggest shot of that game, talking game 5 in 91 on June 12th of 91. Biggest shot of that game was a 3-point field goal by Scottie Pippen to tie the game. Because the play before that, Eldon Campbell completed an alley-oop from Magic. They had to talk, the officials had to talk about it. They counted the basket, and Campbell missed the free throw. And then the next possession down, Scotty comes down and buries a 3. And
I think Scotty had about 30 points in that.
32
in that game. Yeah.
He had 32. MJ had 30. But Paxson's 10 points in the final 4 minutes blew the game open.
It was a banged up Lakers team. It wasn't even the best team in the West.
Yeah, because they beat the best team in the West.
They beat Portland.
Trailblazers.
Portland was the best team, but they ended up getting by Portland. They didn't have James Worthy.
Urban fucking Magic Johnson. That's
and did they? I can't remember. Did they have what's his name? Byron Scott? Did they have him?
Well, they
had Byron Scott. They had James Worthy, but they were not available to them after game 3 because check that. They played game 4, but they were not themselves. Yeah. So they did not play game 5. Worthy more Byron Scott played game 5. So AC Green started. Eldon Campbell started. Tony Smith got some play time. He was a rookie from Marquette at the time, but they did not have James Worthy or Byron Scott available.
Young Sam Perkins, Eldon Campbell. They ended up having pretty good careers.
Sam Perkins older than Jordan.
Old as him, because Sam started his career in Dallas.
Sam went to Carolina a year before MJ.
That's right, because when he was announced, Sam was a sophomore. I'm talking about the game in '82. Sam was a sophomore and MJ was a freshman. You're right. Sam was older than him. But Sam took a while to get to the finals because he started his career in Dallas, and then he got traded in '91 to the Lakers.
Right. Because if I recall correctly, wasn't Perkins drafted ahead of Barkley? If I recall correctly,
I believe it was. I believe he was.
Yeah, because I think he drafted after Mike, or I thought it was him, and then Mike, and then Perkins, and then Barkley, or maybe I'm missing someone.
I think they weren't they. I think they were in the same draft. Because I know the
But
first
no, they
time
were definitely in the same draft. I just don't recall exactly what the order was.
Sam was drafted after MJ. I had to think about it. Sam was drafted as the
Then
fourth overall
Barkley
pick in
was
'84.
after him, right?
Mm-hmm. And Barkley was after him.
Yeah, that was the draft there. That was the draft.
That was such a loaded draft. Olajuwon was there. Michael Jordan was there. Barkley, Stockton.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Oh boy. You know what I noticed about this?
What's that?
All the kids who watch sports now, all your sports athletes sit out games.
Yeah,
nobody
they do.
wants to be in
Nobody
the game.
wants to play. Nobody wants to
And
play.
that's why the NBA sucks. That's why the NBA is losing money.
The NBA will
How
forever
can you have-
lose money.
How can you have two star-studded teams, none of the stars play? That doesn't make people want to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm. In fact, it doesn't make them want to watch, period, whether from home or from the arena.
And when I look at, and I'm not a basketball fan, but when you look at it today, it does not excite me.
Doesn't excite me either.
When that flopping shit happened, I was like, oh god, I really don't want to watch this shit.
And I'm gonna say something.
It's a 5-wing. It's a 5-wing outlet, a 10-wing league, as my friend Cole says. It's a 10-wing league.
The small markets are hurting the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
The small markets are hurting the NBA, you say?
Yeah. Like, who the fuck wants to watch Milwaukee in the finals? You know what I mean? Who wants to watch Oklahoma City?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Back in the day when the big markets was actually winning championships, people was tuning in. That's all I'm saying.
Well, look, here's the problem. You got, if you only got what 6 teams in the league, then how do you, part of how you sell or grow the sport is connecting people to a team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier to connect people to a team that is, if I'm in, I don't know, someplace in
Portland. Try Portland.
like that, or Kansas or whatever, it's easier to market the team, like if I'm in Nebraska, then, okay, I got Oklahoma.
And what's
Oklahoma? We got the, the Thunder. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how you grow or create a broader fan base. I get your point in terms of, it becomes an issue particularly during a final series. But I also think the style of play is as much a problem as the size of the market as well. I think if Michael Jordan is playing in OKC in the 90s, OKC is the place to be in the 90s. So I think the style of play,
I don't like OKC, and I have a fundamental old school reason as to why. And I know I'm running out of steam.
My boy is the biggest OKC fan I ever met.
Because the reason I don't like the Oklahoma City Thunder, because once upon a time they were the Seattle fucking Supersonics.
I will never forgive. Seattle was one of the I liked the Sonics.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Sonics fan in the 70s.
I adored. I'll give you a name. Hey, Uru, I'll give you a name. Speaking of the Seattle Supersonics, does the name Jack Sigma mean anything to you?
Jack Sigma, Gus Johnson,
Dennis Johnson.
Yeah.
And then
Downtown Freddie Brown. Yeah.
Lenny Wilkins.
Yeah, Lenny Wilkins was the coach.
Lenny Wilkins was the coach at the time.
79.
Yep. And they beat the Washington Bullets.
Mm-hmm. And beat Kareem and them in the conference finals before that.
Actually, it was a conference semifinals. They beat Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals. when they blew up the goddamn Kingdom with 32,000 people.
Yeah. So no, I agree with you. I've always been kind of ambivalent about OKC because of what they did to the Sonics, and it didn't have anything to do with the support of Seattle. It was all about getting some sweetheart stadium deal.
Mm-hmm. It was. All right, I'm getting glared at. I better go watch my favorite movie, Back of My Eyelids.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab me a little snack or whatever before I crash. So yeah,
All
you
right.
fellas have a good night.
Y'all have a good night. Thanks for having me up. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
All right, later, folks. Woo.